Good afternoon and welcome here to the beautiful northern suburbs here of Graham Road at Aspley for this round 19 NEAFL clash between the away side, the Southport Sharks, and the home team that is the Aspley Hornets. Mark Kennedy's my name. I'm joined by Riley Storey. And Riley, back in the commentary box, you picked a great game to come back to. We have first versus fifth, a really important game in the whole context of this season as we approach the finals.
Certainly is. Good afternoon, everybody. It's a wonderful day here out in Castle Dine. Breeze going slightly to the right of screen, but as you said, first versus fifth. If Southport can get the victory today, they'd almost have one hand on the minor premiership, you'd think. Whilst for Aspley, if they win, they continue their charge towards the finals. It was coined as a finals preview earlier in the week, and that was a very appropriate comment.
Well, Josh Baxter, he was out there to toss the coin along with the Aspley captain, Ben Warren. It was the Aspley captain that won the toss. Ben Warren, they'll kick to the right of your screen. And the reason that Josh Baxter was out there tossing the coin was his 100th NEAFL appearance today. So a great achievement for Josh Baxter. He had a couple of years at Labrador, a couple of premierships and won goal kicking titles out there. But he's been a great performer here in the NEAFL level. He
certainly has been. It needs to be mentioned also, there has been a late change this afternoon. Andrew Boston has come out of the Southport side, cited with general soreness coming in today's Noah Corbett. So it'll be interesting to see the impact that has on this result this afternoon.
Of course, these two sides met in round 14. It was 5 points in favour of the home side. A kick after the siren by Southport couldn't get them there. It was close. We're expecting another close one. Here is Riley Storey with the first bounce.
So we're underway here. Rucks go at it. Spencer didn't really jump at the contest. There's a lot of players around this one. Falls out. First foray forward for Southport. Johnson the target. Good spoil over the back. Goes towards the forward 50. Aspley will clear defensively. Feeds it out wide. Swallow does well. Kicks it down the line towards the wing. It's favouring Southport. It was a good spoil out there. Sensationally done from Ellard, who has come into the side this afternoon. We're at half forward for the Sharks.
So frantic opening. Jack Stanley, a little bit ginger after that contest with Mitch Johnson. A bit of a surprising matchup there. I thought Jackson Allen might have gone to Mitch Johnson. Not to be. That was the matchup last time they played. The ball thrown in. Spencer and Howard. Spencer at the front. Unable to take it with him there was Ellard. Playing in the middle today is Tate. Gets the ball out wide. Manteet with a quick kick inside forward 50. That's Hall. Just puts it in the path of Hancock. Well done there by the Aspley defence. They just hold it up enough. Plenty of players around the contest. Quickly cleared there. And that was by Gowers. Goes towards the boundary line. Just outside defensive 50. And we'll have a throw in. Out of side. 60 metres from goal.
Of course, if we remember the last clash between these two, Southport had a very poor opening half, it must be said. Not their usual standard. They came back hard in that second half, but it wasn't quite to be, so they want to start better today.
Spencer just holds Howard off. Gets the tap down. Just Manteet lays the tackle. Umpire will ball it up. It was on Henry Joyce, the former Morningside product. Been fantastic since he's joined the Hornets over here, along with the coach, John Blair. Rucks go at it again. Give that one to Howard. Just outworked or outthought Spencer on that occasion. Clayton shuffled off the ball. Payne just squeezes a handball out. Toy close to the boundary line. It'll go over. We'll have another boundary throw in yet again.
So it's stuck at about that forward 50 mark at the moment. So it will be interesting to see if Southport, as I said, can capitalise on this opportunity. Spencer and Howard at the ruck contest. There's a lot of numbers around here. Dale is standing next to Payne. Spencer just punches it back over the boundary, and we've got about the fifth stoppage in the last couple of minutes.
A little bit of breeze around today. It's actually coming towards us across the ground. Looks like it's, if anything, just favouring the right of screen, but only just. Ball back into play. Here's Clayton. Gets it back. Ruse. Doesn't get it forward with any great authority. Spencer's underneath there. Ellard tackles the bigger man. Ball shuffled forward. Wilkinson now to Manteet. He is tackled as he goes to kick it, and he'll be penalised. Good tackle there by Henry Joyce. Play on is the call. I thought it was going to be penalised every day of the week. I thought the umpire shaped for it. and didn't call it.
Normally is, but anyway, not to be for Aspley. They'll feel a little hard done by. So back at the contest, Rucks go at it, give the honours to Hall that time. It goes towards the boundary, and we'll have it out of play right in front of the car park of this lovely ground here this afternoon.
Well, conditions lovely. We're going to have a day about 22 degrees. Very little cloud cover. So conducive to good open football.
So back at the contest, Hall got the tap down. It fell to Spencer. He fed a hand pass out. There's still a lot of congestion here. Dale, good second effort. He's at least forced the contest. Geez, there's a lot of numbers around this pack. Aspley will try and clear it out. It's really just a pack of maul at the moment. Good tackle laid there from Manteet. It falls to the bottom of the pack. So Southport keep it in. Tate laid the tackle, and we'll have another stoppage in that forward 50.
Well, that might be a bit of a tactic today for Southport. Plenty of numbers around the ball to nullify Jake Spencer. Hall got the tap away, but it fell to former MVP of the NEFL, Matt Payne, to the middle of the ground. Nellis couldn't take it, but getting the kick away there was Aspley going forward. Murdoch leads the race right on defensive 50. Just a little chipping ball, does it well. Finds Doran at half back.
So Doran, he'll shape himself. Goes backwards to hopefully go forwards. Finds a teammate there in Reeves who'll switch. It's a shocking kick. That is a terrible error. And Blake Nellis will have the first shot of the game.
Well, we saw a couple of those type of errors in the last time they met as well. And they cost each of the sides goals. And on this occasion, Blake Nellis was right man at the right spot to capitalise on what was a poor disposal.
So Nellis, the wind is right behind him, so no issues with the distance. He'll kick from about 40. Davis on the mark. There's the kick. The umpire shapes. It's just to the near side, so one behind. First score of the afternoon to the Hornets. We've played 5 minutes into this opening term.
So Ruse with the ball. Looking and just assessing. Goes to the back pocket. Now to Murdoch. Former Port Melbourne player and St Kilda product as well. Gets it off to Doran. A little bit of deja vu as this happened a little bit earlier. Goes down the line this time. And the fly on that occasion came from O'Shea. The ball spills over the boundary line. We'll throw it in. Who's your tip today? We haven't got to that, did we?
Well, I did go with Southport early, but Boston is such an important player. Aspley on their home deck, I think they can get the job done by about 10 points.
And I'll go with Southport. Ives, kick away. Went high in the air. Gowers couldn't take it. And being wrapped up there on that occasion was Giles. Turnover comes. Fife, he's taken after he gets the ball away. Fairly, says the umpire. The ball spills right in front of us here. And Josh Hall just a little bit of a limp off the ground. They won't want to afford a tall or losing any semblance of a tall here when they've got to battle Big Spencer. And Howard have to go up against him.
Speaking of Howard, he's in the ruck contest. He got front position but overran it. Payne gets the hand pass away, finds Toy. Hand pass further forward to Bledsoe. Didn't quite ruse, taken straight away, and a great tackle. Well done from Toy, and we'll have another stoppage. I tell you what, we can already see the numbers around the contest this afternoon. They are very significant.
So Spencer again stands and delivers. It was Ives that was the man running onto it on that occasion. Gets it back to Payne. He's starting to rack them up already. Clayton gets a hand on the kick, so it's play on. Jack Stanley, though, he gathered, kicks it long inside forward 50. Run there by the defence of Southport, who wrap the Aspley player up. So it was going nowhere. Man underneath it there getting up was Blake Nellis. It was Clark, the man with the tackle.
So Howard and Spencer. Spencer wins it once again. Falls to Tate. He's dispossessed. Could be holding the ball. Not paid. Falls to the back of the contest. Nothing really done from Stackelberg. Now Southport will clear away with the football towards the wing. Hancock the target. Oh, what a spoil there. Well done from Gavin Gross. He's punched it over the boundary. We'll have a stoppage right in front of the commentary box. And we've played about 7.5 minutes into this opening term.
Well, if they're going to lob it up like that to Wade Hancock, Gavin Gross is going to pick that off all day. They need to put it a bit lower against a shorter man. Howard, tap, Swallow, he'll win it. Now to Payne. And Payne, out of bounds on the full, under pressure. That was his sixth disposal, so he's getting plenty of it. That one, though, was an error. And Tyler Ruse, the man that will have the kick to come back in, or will it be Michael Manteet, depending upon where the mark is?
I think we're just waiting for a football to come back in, to be honest. Kanga.
And we've got a freshie into play, so it will be Tyler Roos.
So Roos, positioned slightly defensively from the wing. It's not much presenting, so he's going to go backwards. Finds a teammate there in Kenny. He'll switch the play. He finds there Clark. Short chip pass. They got it on the outer side. Reeves has the ball. Running off half-back. He'll go about 10 metres towards the wing position. One-on-one contest. No mark taken. Falls to the back. Well done there from Wilkinson. He bounced like a cat. Goes towards the forward line. And that's the first real bit of clean play for Southport. And it will result in a shocking chip from Howard. I was going to say he's had the shot, but Warren's got the ball from his turnover.
Well, Manteet made the ground. The kick was just a poor disposal. It was Warren. His kick wasn't a wonderful execution either. It gave Ryan Davis a chance, but he couldn't gather it cleanly. The ball over the boundary line.
It's a bit scrappy early, isn't it?
Well, it is a bit scrappy. I do like the way Howard tried to stretch Spencer going back the other way then, just to try and run him around. He's a good athlete, former NBL with the Crocs. Spencer, though, took that one out of the contest. Well done there by Charlesworth. That's a lovely mark. Went over the top, clutched it on the chest. A defensive effort. Forced to play on. That's not his best effort. Howard couldn't handle it. Goes over the boundary line. No harm, no foul there, so we'll have another throw in.
One thing I am noticing, Southport, what they're doing defensively, their first option, it seems, is to look back. They're spreading very wide to that outer end of the ground. Probably learning from last game, trying to stretch the Hornets this afternoon. Coach
Steve Daniels, he does really do a fair bit of homework with his coaching staff. Ellard gets the ball away. Deep. Inside forward 50. One on there by Wilkinson. Just kept front spot. Allen, he got the spoil away. Did as all defenders, or all good defenders should do. Gets it over the boundary line. So we've played nearly 10 minutes of this first quarter, and just the one score, it's Aspley by a point.
So we'll have another throw in inside Southport's forward 50. They had a count there virtually for the first 5 minutes. Hall and Spencer. Spencer just spikes it towards the boundary. You can already see that hit-out dominance this afternoon. Despite the best efforts of Southport, Spencer's just that bigger body, and he's reading the ball really well. We've noticed a few times it's come over the back for him to get that first hit-out.
So 8-7 hit-outs going Aspley's way, but a few of those have really gone to advantage. Spencer was just I suppose, a little bit of fooled himself in the end. That was a big tackle there by Dale. And a little bit of angst as getting up off the ground was Hampton. And we'll go again. So Spencer and Hall. Spencer really uncontested as Hall came late. Ellard got the kick in. It was punched away, and over the boundary we go again. So plenty of players around the contest. I think that's what Southport want. They don't want to give the free run. They're knowing that dominance that Spencer will have in the ruck for most of today. That's
certainly right. As you did mention before, the Southport coaching staff, they adapt very well. So back at the contest, Hall got the tap down, falls the way of Swallow. He half threw it to himself, was dispossessed, so the Hornets are under a bit of pressure here. Tape, taken in a tackle straight away by 2. And we'll have another stoppage about 25 out from the Southport goals.
I like the move of Seb Tape into the midfield in the absence of Boston. They need a hardball getter, and he is a machine. He's Boston. So players coming through, going for the free kick, and he'll win it. Is a Southport player. I thought that was a little bit of extra mayo on top of that effort, and it was Dylan Fife that'll get up with the ball, the smaller man. He definitely got impacted high, but whether it was incidental or not, he certainly made sure the umpire saw it.
He certainly did. He's been very good at NEFL level this year, I think. Come up from Tasmania. So this is his first shot this afternoon to put the Sharks in front.
45-degree angle. Only kick it from about 35. On the left he comes and just puts it to the near side. So scores a level. 1 point apiece. We played 12 and a half minutes of this first quarter, and Jackson Allen will be the man with that prodigious right boot to bring it back in if he chooses to use it.
So Allen, nothing really presenting. Southport deploying a pretty tight zone. It's smothered off the boot. Dale got the spoil. Fife gets a hand pass away. Gets out Shears. He was turned over the hand pass. Fife gets it. Now Southport have the numbers. Ruse. His kick is smothered. So well done from the Hornets to at least scramble. Swallow dropped a ball he'd normally take. Dale is dispossessed. Tape like a bullet again. He was taken high. Call play on. Warren wanted holding the footy. Dale tried to get a kick away. He's dispossessed. And Corbett, the late inclusion, like a bulldog trying to get out of that pack, but we'll have another stoppage.
Well, Tape just trying to bustle his way through and got collected nicely. And fairly, says the umpire. Howard went early, but Spencer just stayed there like a big tree trunk. Gowers gets it a little bit further afield. Ellard's dispossessed. Plenty of players. The kick squeezes out Aspley's way. Beardsall, good handball. Ives just finds a nice little chipping ball, and James Ives with it. He came to meet it.
Ives, it's a long kick towards the forward line. It's a 2-on-2, getting over the back there. Well done from Batchelor. He'll run onto it. Oh, Davis does well to at least cover, forcing it towards the boundary. Stackelberg could have been taken high, not called. Good pressure there from Kenny, and it's out on the full in the defensive pocket as Davis kicks it towards the outer side.
So Reeves will take it. Just in the back play there, Charlesworth in a bit of strife. Looks like he's carrying a bit of a knee. A couple of trainers coming to him. Clayton, meanwhile, on the outer wing, gets around one. It's a scrubby old kick. It just beats the Southport opponent there, or Aspley opponent, I should say. And it was Hancock that came to lay the tackle to tie the ball up as Charlesworth. A little bit of pressure back on the leg, but he looks very ginger as he comes from the ground.
He's certainly a key player for Southport's defensive structure, but what a punch out there from Spencer. He cleared it away. Toy gets a hand pass out. Getting it out now, Aspley towards half forward. A chip inside. Stackelberg the target. No spoil there from the back from Clark. Well received, though, with the second effort, but absolutely no one to go to. And Murdoch takes the saving mark and kicks it short to Manteet.
So Manteet, he'll run away from Spencer. Gives it off, Ellard. Nice little ball, finding Baxter, the 100-gamer today. Goes backwards. From whence it came, Manteet. Didn't go the required distance, so Manteet will just spot up Ellard. Ellard just quickly off a couple of steps, looks for Hancock. With the one hand he goes out. Goes on the left, chipping ball, looking for a target, and Wilkinson was the man that is paid the mark. Somewhat dubious, I think, from my point of view.
There's a bit of a conference here.
There is a bit of a conference there, and I think a bit of common sense prevails in the end of the day. One umpire, the central umpire, actually called a mark, and the controlling umpire thought it was juggled over the line. The ladder.
Certainly looked like that from here, so there's the throw-in. Howard takes front position. Neither ruckman get to it. It's cleared away from the Hornets. One-on-one contest. Warren used his strength well. Doran, though, he was the quicker to recover. He got the football, but was tackled straight away. So it is very tight. You just get the feeling both sides are just feeling each other out at the moment.
Well, it is. And this first goal, from a psychological point of view, might be a nice one to get. Howard spikes the ball forward. Warren gets it back going the other way. Swallow couldn't handle it, but well done by Gowers. Payne looking for Swallow again. The run of Warren through the middle. Just bats it into the path of a teammate, but he couldn't take it. And it was Reeves. Just got it back towards Ruse, and the pressure comes, but coming out of it there was Clayton. That looked high and late, and it was, and it's down the field. So a little bit ordinary work there. Made Clayton really earn it. Now on the far side there, Shears gets it down the line to Tape.
So Tape with the football. He'll step inside, heads towards the full forward line. A lot of players around this one. Trying to get out his pain. Hornets have the numbers defensively. It's cleared out of there from Joyce. And it's a short little chip pass. And Mark, I've just got some news. Charlesworth, he's getting his knee checked at the moment. More updates at quarter time.
Yeah, well, they certainly need him as a key plank of their defence. Rising star, former Suns Academy product, Jackson Allen. Back pocket, Roosett Long. Swallow had the ball punched away from him. Sharking it there was Ruse, the 1-2 with Clayton. Now inside, Shears. Gives it to Ruse again. Scoots the tackle. Now to Manteet, and that's a good team goal. Good build-up on the outer side. And they finished off very nicely through the agency of Michael Manteet.
Tell you what, Tyler Ruse, they should be getting around him there. That attacking run forward, he created that passage of play and his continued follow-up. Got about 3 disposals in that chain, and we finally got a goal after 18 minutes.
Well, it did take all that time. Inside 50s early on. Southport 10-6. Hit-outs 13-9. Clearances 8-7. The last two going Aspley's way. Matthew Payne with 8 disposals. He leads all comers. Ellard with 6 for Southport so far. Manteet, the goal kicker, he's had 6 also, I should say, for the Sharks.
So back in the middle. The bounce favours Spencer. He taps it over his head. Payne couldn't quite get it cleared out of there from Southport towards half forward. No mark taken. Wilkinson was taken without the footy. No free kick. Payne gets a hand pass over the top. The Hornets should clear here. Short chipping ball up the line from Craven to a one-on-one. Freeman, he bodied his opponent out illegally. It's deemed by the umpire. He's not too happy about it. And Clark will get the free kick at half back.
Well, it looked a bit too manufactured the way he went about it, didn't it? Rather than a natural action. It was Jonathan Freeman who gave away the free kick. More accustomed to doing bicep curls on Noosa Beach. In the back pocket, Southport bring it to the commentary side of the ground. Manteet from the back couldn't take it and tried to take it on the chest. Joyce, ball over the top. And just a little chipping ball inside. It looked like it might be a bit high for a moment, but it was Billy Beardsall, the boy from St Albans, 22-year-old. Go back and shoot for goal.
Now, if you remember his last game when these two sides played each other, in that last quarter, he had actually a couple of really key moments which helped decide the outcome of that one. It'll be interesting to see if he has the same sort of impact this afternoon. He's lining up for his first.
So 45-degree angle. He'll kick it from 40 metres out. He slides it across. It is coming back somewhat, but not enough. At least he gave it a chance. And the Breeze bringing it back. 1 point, and the Southport go up the middle. Josh Baxter has it. The margin 5 points in favour of Southport.
Baxter towards the wing, one-on-one contest. Now the numbers converge for both sides. Corbett got the spoil. Howard hand passes rather indiscriminately over the boundary. Umpire says throw it back into play. So what have you thought of the first 20 minutes here, Kanga?
Well, it's been, again, that feeling out process. You think that both sides have had a few chances, but Southport have probably had a little bit of the better opportunity of it so far. So Spencer gets it down. Ives does well to avoid Fife. And the little chipping ball finds the ground, but eventually gets to Nellis. Nellis, inside forward 50, couldn't find a target. And that's Murdoch. In fact, it was Davis there. Just gets the kick away. Just mopping it up here is Hayden. Hayden with the handball. It's not a good one to Gross, and he's just bumped over quite easily by Ellard and over the boundary line.
I think what both coaches would want to address at quarter time, some of the kicking inside 50 so far this afternoon has been pretty poor. That was a rather elementary target to hit, but instead we got a stoppage on the wing.
Howard got it down, but put it straight to Spencer. He looks at Payne. Payne. Warren just ducked the head down like he was going to cop the contact, and it wasn't on the first occasion. It was the second occasion. He got it high, according to the umpire, wins the free kick.
Warren from the wing heads towards half forward. Freeman's the target. Big fly at the back, but he couldn't quite. It was a great mark taken in front there from Murdoch. Now, not much presenting for him, so he's probably going to send it back from whence it came. He does. Hancock, he couldn't get there. Hall, he tapped it over the line. It looked like it almost might have been out on the full. Ben Warren agrees with that summation, but we've got a stoppage.
I'm not sure why he's looking up to the coach's box for confirmation. The boundary umpire was right on the line. Ball back into play. Spencer and Howard. Howard went hard to try and move the big body of Spencer. Couldn't do so. Doran gets it out. And that was Clayton. And just tried to tow the ball out and deliberately, says the umpire. So it's a free kick going Ben Warren's way.
So he's been much happier about that decision. He's got the free kick. Just defensively goes to Gross. Not much movement ahead of him. He's content to wait. Swallow presents. He's not on it. The kick, though, is not real good. Fife was taken very high. He'll get the free kick. He's only 168 centimetres, so not hard to get him high. Murdoch, he'll send it towards the forward line. Hall's the target. He'll fly. He'll mark. Well done there from Southport. They'll have another chance at goal. And suddenly, it might be a handy lead if this trend continues of low scoring.
Well, it was just a mismatch back there, wasn't it? Because Hall was going up against the smaller players in the back half. I think Gavin Gross is usually sort of pushing back on those bigger players, and he was off there with Baxter, I believe, a little bit closer to goal. And it was Hall with that good athleticism. Former Gold Coast Sun and NRL player having a crack.
So Hall, it's a tough kick. He hangs it way right, not going to make the distance. Spencer almost takes the mark. He's dropped it, though. He lays a secondary tackle. We'll have a stoppage in that pocket. The breeze has just picked up in the last 30 seconds. It's blowing a bit harder now, sort of like a gale, really, if you look at the flags out there.
We'll have a bit of a look at that, thanks to Neefel TV. Hall went early, and he will be paid the free kick against, as Spencer was the man who will get that stat, that champion data stat. 3-4. He goes long. Half back out of side. Nellis was the contester there, and well done there by Jasper Craven. Goes in the middle of the field. Giles run down as he got rid of it, but running onto it there was Toy. He ran straight in to Kenny, and he'll be pinged. That was just a bit of a lack of awareness by... He was looking for the support and forgot that actually you had to get rid of the ball.
It certainly was. They had the numbers streaming forward, but not to be, as Kenny goes towards that outer side. Hand pass inside to Davis. He'll kick it 30 metres up the line. It's good to Howard. So Howard quickly to Dale. The hand pass wasn't great, but he made it look okay and will head towards the forward line. Wilkinson, the target. He almost took the... He played on. He was paid the mark. Gets a hand pass away. Hall. He gets it half away. Spencer saves it for the Hornets. Hand pass inside. Really not great, but there's a free kick and advantage play on. Joyce got the hand pass to Swallow. He'll kick it up the line and turns it over to Davis, who will send it right back.
So Davis back inside forward 50. Hall was there. Gross provided the spoil. Hancock just couldn't hold on to it long enough and then play for the free kick. Didn't win it. Joyce, he'll mop it up. And then Gowers, he'll just hit the high ball. Freeman's underneath it there. Well done there by Doran. O'Shea just palms one off and then gets the ball. Back from whence it came. The pressure comes, but on this occasion, it is Jordan Hayden who'll mop it up and kick it laterally to Hampton.
Hampton, he's got an option short. He honours that to Stanley. Warren's presenting. They've got the +1 here. Aspley, if they go quickly, over the top. It's a shorter kick instead. Jasper Craven's got it. He'll hand pass inside to Warren. Hand pass over the top to Toy. Now he'll go back to Craven. Normally see him at quaffle level, but he'll head towards half forward. The kick wasn't great. And the mark is taken there from Southport by Ethan Reeves.
He immediately goes to the outer side, finds Howard, who's made space back there. Just tries to measure one. Does it nicely on this occasion to Howard, to Baxter, I should say. That kick was far better than the one he tried to put inside forward 50 earlier. Clayton got it from Baxter. Go out to the wing. And the player with the ball. Let's pick that up. Is Kenny. And Kenny back inside to Clayton as they just settle somewhat. Just backward of centre on that outer side. So
Clayton looks forward up the field. Spencer, the big man there for Aspley. Half impacted the contest in the sense he got the spoil. Ives running forward. Should receive this hand pass now. He doesn't quite now. It's going further forward for Aspley. Swallow. He's about 70 metres out from goal. Freeman wants it long. He's got position. He should take it. He does take it. The big man for the Hornets. He can put them in front with a straight kick here. Very late stages opening term.
Well, he kicked 2 goals very late in the game. Last time these two sides met here and pretty much won the game for Aspley. Here's a chance not to win the game, but to put them in front at quarter time. You wouldn't think there'll be much time left given the fact that we've only had 1 goal so far. Tight angle though.
Freeman. Here's a good kick. He postures round, snaps it. That is a floater and a half. And it's out in the full, so I don't think Jason Dunstall would love that. He's a big believer in the straight drop punt.
Well, at least he didn't try and dribble it.
That's very true.
Save the dribble, hashtag. I'll get on board with that.
Murdoch. To Ruse.
Little one, wasn't it? Ruse goes out wide. Clark likes his left foot and he gets out there on the outer side now. Up towards Baxter and also Gross. Baxter does well just to compete there. Thought Gross had the front spot. Now Gross is forced to tackle. Baxter's got the ball underneath. We'll have a ball up there. So just inside the centre square, favouring Aspley's end.
Southport would be happy in the sense that this breeze, it is going against them. As this quarter time siren sounds, I was going to say, But they've maintained a lead here. It's 5 points the margin. 28-minute opening term there. 1-1-7 to 2 behinds for Aspley. Kanga, what do you think?
Well, it was a tight opening, wasn't it? It's a game consistent, I suppose, with the importance of the match that it is in the context of season 2018 for these two sides, where they're going to finish on the ladder. I didn't probably forecast just one goal being kicked in the first quarter, but we knew it was probably going to be pretty tight. The late out of Andrew Boston really helps Aspley along, but Southport, they push numbers up around the ball, Seb Tape into the middle, and Aspley, they're not going to die wondering today either.
They're certainly not. It is their home deck. Of course, they did win in round 15 by 5 points. We'll see if they can repeat that this afternoon.
And the margin 5 points. And just quickly, just hit-outs going Aspley's way, 15-9, or 15 of those to Big Spencer. And clearances also going Aspley's way, 12-8. Inside 50, Southport's way, 15-11. So we won't take too long to get through the goal kickers. Michael Manteet from Southport's at. So at quarter time, 5 points is the margin. The players will get a few messages from their coaches and we'll take a little breather. We'll be back with you for the second quarter here on NEFL TV. And welcome back to Graham Road at Aspley as the players emerge from their huddles. Quarter time here. It's round 19 clash. Of course, Anifal proudly our broadcast partner here is Bar TV and our major sponsor, Elastoplast. They lovely sponsors here. Plenty of tape going in. And talking about Southport, who lead by 5 points, we have one player that's done for the day.
We certainly do. Dan Charlesworth, he went down about 10 minutes into that opening term with a right knee. He's been taken out for the rest of the game. We're yet to see the impact of that injury, whether it's going to be a long-term or more precautionary, but that's going to hurt the rotation defensively for the Sharks, you'd think.
Yeah, it will. It was a scrappy opening affair. Just the one goal kicked, and that was by Southport. They lead by 5 points. This is the voice of O'Reilly Storey.
So, Howard and Spencer. Howard actually did all right in that first term, although Spencer wins it down that time. Dale there first for the Sharks. Hand passes back to a teammate in Clayton. Heads towards half-forward Johnson. First real sighting of him. It's bounced past Tate. Couldn't quite get it. Toy. He does a little bit of a shimmy. Well done. Good composure down the line. The kick let him down severely. No mark taken from Kenny. Then he takes his opponent off it. No free kick. Swallow. Rocking the headband this afternoon. Ruse straight to Warren. And Warren has his kick chopped off. Kenny couldn't get it. Stackelberg couldn't. It's a bit scrappy here at the moment. We just want a clean possession. Howard, Doran, Clayton. Now it should be okay. Murdoch's hand pass is dangerous. Ruse made it look better than it was, and he goes up the line to Johnson.
So Johnson just flicked it in the path of Dale, did well. Held onto it at the right time and then kicks it to the top of the 50 and finds big Josh Hall. And the call is coming from the runner and from the bench. Goal, goal, goal. So clearly they fancy his chances.
They certainly do. The breeze, of course, going to the right of screen. I'm loving Tyler Rue's game this afternoon, I've got to say. He is breaking lines. One of only a few that's really done that this afternoon. He's making a difference.
So 7 disposals for Ruse. And this man, Josh Hall, comes in, kicks it from the square and makes the distance easily, I've got to tell you. So that kick went all of 60-plus metres. But it was errant. Puts the margin, though, back out to a straight kick. 1-2-8 Southport. Aspley, just the two behinds.
Allen, with that prodigious right boot, gets it about 55 metres away. Howard couldn't take the mark. Tackle there laid from Nellis. Aspley will try to clear. Now they do. Coming down that line, Jasper Craven. Good kick to Freeman. He's got an option all on his own in Swallow. He doubled back. Now it goes to Nellis. Towards the forward line. Swallow should be the target. It's going to drop short. He's going to have to work hard to get there. Bounces over everyone's head, and it's unlucky for him because Clark will clear and send an absolute tracer bullet to Dale.
Dale off to Manteet. Manteet, open space here. That's right to Hancock. He looked up and he thought about it for just a fleeting moment. Then he thought, no, I'll settle. I've got a nice shot right in front, 30 metres out. What about the Clark kick in the middle of the ground there?
It absolutely opened up that play. When you can go through the corridor effectively like that and hit those 30-metre passes about 2 metre high, it just opens up so many options. And we're probably going to have our second goal here from Hancock.
That's Riley Storey working on the affirmative. The glass half full. Wade Hancock comes in. Deliberate shot at goal. And there it is. The second for Southport today. The second for the game, in fact. And Southport kick away to a 2-goal lead. 2-2-14. Aspley, just the two behinds. We have played 3 minutes into this second quarter. The scores haven't been high, but Southport, a mini break they have.
It is a mini break, and good news for Southport. Johnson, he hasn't really cited it at all this afternoon, so if they can get him into the game, of course, last time these two teams played, he only had 8 possessions. But if he can get into the game, he can provide a very dangerous target, and Aspley wouldn't want to get this too far away. So they have to chase a big margin. They just want to keep it within a distance. They do have the home ground advantage, of course.
Leading possession getters for both sides. Matt Payne has 11 for the Hornets, and Clayton has 9 back in the middle. Howard went high, but Spencer, he just handballs the ball in the path of Payne. He just tapped it over the back. O'Shea couldn't get a handball away. Payne again. Ives, now to Spencer. A little bit of room they're trying to create. And Toy, Craven, Freeman's handball wasn't a good one, but it was under pressure. Fife is upended as he tried to get the kick away. Toy just chips it up looking for a target, And it was well measured in the end. Finds James Nellis right on forward 50.
Nellis, he's about 55 metres out. You wouldn't think he's going to make the distance. He'll have to set it to the tip of the square. A huge pack will form. Spencer flies, couldn't take the mark. A lot of numbers around this contest once again. Giles just half stood there, didn't really affect it. No kick out there from Beardsall. It's at the bottom of the pack, and we'll have a stoppage here about 20 metres out. So a good position for Aspley and for Spencer to have a real impact on the contest here.
Well, they've scrambled well in defence so far, Southport. And this is where Spencer, as you mentioned, Riley, could be very dangerous. Big man, and if he gets a hit out to advantage, it could open things up for them. Trying to come through was Toy. Couldn't take it with him, though. Clayton reaches for it, but he's immediately tackled. That'll be caught underneath him. Ball up will be the result. We'll go again. Southport pushing plenty of numbers back. Howard, uncontested. Spencer was probably just looking for the body contact. Payne couldn't gather it on that occasion. Well done there by Craven, or Hampton. Freeman, just outpointed on that occasion by Clark. And then it was Ives that kicked it, and it was beautifully taken by Clark as he got it down with not a great effect. Payne, he wriggles out to Craven to Hampton, and they're away.
Hand pass forward. Toy back to the boundary. There's a lot of pressure around here. Kick short. It's in Aspley's forward 50. It's going to be a free kick. Southport not happy with it. Unfortunately, Clarkey did everything right till the kick. It created the pressure and having the shot on goal. Just trying to see that there. That would be Beardsall.
Yeah, so the free kick was definitely there. I mean, he was going forward. But anyway, Gross goes for goal.
What a kick at goal that was. Off 3 steps, if you remember the first contest between these two. Just on the other end of the ground, off 1 step, he kicked it from 60. And he's kicked that from the boundary from 50, and that gets the crowd into it a little bit. It's 6 points the margin, 2-2-14 to 1-2-8, 6.5 going into this second term.
Well, and that was right into the teeth of the breeze too. So Gavin Gross just showcases his kicking power. And that was a lovely kick for goal. He kicked the first goal that when these two sides met last time as well. A bit of a surprise first goal kicker. And again, if you're coming here today, you said who's going to be the first goal kicker for Aspley, you probably wouldn't have thrown Gavin Gross in the mix too often.
You certainly wouldn't. That's goal number 4 of the year for him. It's back to 6 points, Howard and Spencer. If you see the opposition and those sentiment, they're standing off the circle and will converge now. Spencer, it was a wonderful punch down, going forward for Aspley. A lot of numbers, big hit there on Doran. Warren tries to take out Fife. He forced the spill, Beardsall. His kick was short. It's okay. Giles heads towards Freeman. It's going to bounce in front of him. Favour the big man. Hand pass back to Payne. What can the MVP, or the former MVP, do from here? It's a good kick. Freeman couldn't get a good spoil there. It was called play on. There's a lot of numbers around here. Clark. Hand pass out. Giles. Now it's fed further back. The kick from 40 metres out from Ives to the tip of the square. Oh, what a mark. Yes, it's paid. It is paid to Batchelor. It was a 2-on-1 contest. He judged it well. It was tough in the breeze, and he can put Aspley all square here suddenly.
Well, it was good there by, I think it might have been Beardsall, the small, that was in that marking contest with Reeves, and just allowed Batchelor to have a run at it and take it on his chest. It was a good mark, but was set up by the teammate who provided the pressure on the defender.
It was great pressure. He forced his opponent out. And the beneficiary, Batchelor, has made a meal of it. That almost hit a car in the car park. It's a 5-point game here, 8 minutes into this second term.
And kick it up the middle. Could have raffled it between O'Shea and also Mantine. It was the former that got it. Kick it out wide to Shears. Turns his opponent round well. Should have given it to Clayton, who was running there, and then just wasted the ball on the outer wing and kicked it straight to Jackson Allen. So Clayton would not be happy with that. Jackson Allen, he can repel.
Allen sends it back from whence it came. A huge pack of players. It's spoiled down. Trying to come through his Swallow. Gets the hand pass. Beardsall towards Freeman in that forward line. Murdoch just escorts him out of bounds. So Aspley, it's in their forward line. They've got a little patch of momentum here. Can they capitalise? That's the question. But at least they got on the board with a goal. It must be said.
Inside 50s evening up here. 17-15 Southport's way still. It was a little bit more lopsided at quarter time. Spencer got it down. Getting the ball out on his left foot was Reeves in the path of Shears. And that's out of bounds on the full, despite Shear's best effort to try and get it before the boundary line. So Hampton it will be with the man with the footy.
Hampton, he's about 80 metres out from goal. There's not too much presenting. They just want to go along to the Twin Towers in Spencer and Freeman. That's where it goes. All fly, no mark taken by anybody. It's at the bottom of the pack. Trying to feed it out. There was Gowers, and we'll have a stoppage about 35 metres out in the forward line of the Hornets.
So plenty of players again. Spencer gets it out to the big fellow there. That was Giles around the corner, but just squeezed it through for a point. And again, Aspley press here. Margin back to 4 points. And the ball is Ryan Davis, the former son. Been very good this year, and that's a very good kick. Finds Seb Tape. Still plenty of room to try and make up. Tape not sure where to go. Gets around an opponent. Gives the ball off to O'Shea. O'Shea goes on the left. I'm not sure that's the most wisest decision. Toy gets it quickly off to Ives, and now it comes back. Contest, and Freeman. He always looked like he was going to have his hands on it. And he was probably the tallest player going at it, but it was certainly the fact that he just looked settled as he went near it as well.
He postured himself very well. Southport, I think that probably all started from Tape. He put himself under pressure, then put his teammate under pressure. Unfortunately, turnovers are costly, and this could put the Hornets in front.
So Jono Freeman, former Brisbane Lion, Noosa product, kicks it low, kicks it hard, kicks it strong, kicks it straight. So Aspley in front. Southport kicked the first of the term. Aspley kicked the last two. The lead now to Aspley, a couple of points. We played 11 minutes into this second quarter.
This has been well done from the Hornets. They've steadied here. It's a very even contest, but the last 5 minutes or so, they've really had it camped up in their forward line. They've looked a little cleaner. Freeman's really started to get into the game. It's looking good for them. Southport will need to match them.
Yes, well, we know these two sides can have some wonderful contests, and it hasn't been the highest scoring game, but it's setting itself up nicely. Howard and Spencer. Is it one to Spencer again? Gets down to Fife, though. Does well to keep his feet. Break a tackle. Kicks on the left. In the path at Johnson. Allen was there with him, and Allen is happy to take the contact and just disguise the ball to get it over the boundary line for a throw in right on forward 50 out of side.
Johnson not happy there. He thought it was deliberate out of bounds, but
fanciful.
He continues to be quiet. He's only had 1 or 2 possessions. Spencer taps it towards the boundary. Dale will try get there with Swallow. Swallow gets a little hand pass away. Toy, he dances around a couple. Back to Spencer, the big man. Back to Toy. They're sharing it between themselves here. There's a free kick. It is going Aspley's way for a push, and it's Reece Toys at half back.
He'll just shape to kick it. Finds Ives. Point of the square. He goes down the line. Nellis is the target. That's James Nellis. Backing back there was Ryan Davis. Through his hands it goes. And Stackelberg was the man running onto it but couldn't keep it in. Mitch Johnson. He's more like Roy Orbison at the moment. The big O. Big duck eggs everywhere.
So I've overestimated what he was going at the moment. He'd want to improve that. He can go cold at times, unfortunately, for him. Swallow gets a hand pass out. It's a beauty, the Toy. His wasn't so great. Fed out. Well done from Dale. He just pumps it out of there. No mark taken from Wilkinson. Aspley have the football, and they'll send it back from whence it came. The kick will favour Ives. That was actually a really tough mark to take. He underjudged it, but he did well. He's got the football about 60 out.
Reece Toy in a bit of strife where he got dispossessed. Ball down deep. Nellis protected the drop zone well. Swallow to Craven. Craven, little shot at goal, but never looked likely to the near side, but does manage to extend the margin to 3 points.
Bit of cloud on.
Yep. A bit of
Toy here.
A bit of Cab Sav. A bit of Rosé.
Giles will come onto the ground for him, so we're just waiting. Looks like it was a blow to the eye. Coming off the ground now, and Davis, who has taken all the kickouts this afternoon for Southport, will take it once again.
So 3 points to margin. Davis goes long down the outer side. Howard's the target. Spencer was right there. He got a hand on it. Hampton does well. Just got onto the ball quickly. Dangerous spot, and Cody Stackelberg ran onto it well. Protected the drop zone. The kick was a ripper. Just held up a little bit in the breeze. And Tyler Roos had no real chance as Stackelberg just took it in the fingers.
He certainly did. It's interesting to note, we've mentioned the breeze is going to the right of screen this afternoon. Neither side's really taken advantage of it. Aspley coming up for their third in this second quarter.
So Connor Stackelberg from Sandgate comes in, kicks it straight as a die. Well done, young fellow. And the 21-year-old, he puts another one on the board for Aspley. That's 3 for the quarter. And all of a sudden the margin out to 9 points in favour of the Hornets, some 15 minutes into this second quarter.
We were talking before that during the break we thought this game would open up, and it certainly has. With that, though, I don't think Southport have had as much intent to get numbers around the contest in this second quarter. That first quarter, they were manic with their pressure. They were manic getting numbers there, but it's opened up a bit, and Aspley is starting to show their class, I think.
Yes, they are. This is probably a little bit of a carbon copy of what happened in the last game, actually. Ended up at 5 points, so I don't think we get too carried away just at the moment. Baxter in the ruck against Freeman. A little bit of a mismatch there. Baxter a shorter man against Freeman. It was Gowers got the kick away, half forward. Coming out to meet it was Ryan Davis. Just handball, hit Roos in the head. Just bunted forward by Aspley, but Roos got in there again. Dale just finds a good target in Baxter. They've got a little bit of room to move now. They come to the commentary wing. Doran gets around Warren. Can shape up, looking for a target there, and finds Josh Hall. Good build-up.
Certainly was. It was really well done from the Sharks there. They opened the ground up, changed the angles, and Josh Hall's going to have a shot. Now, we saw him have a shot at the start of this quarter from about 60, and he went half-post height, so I'm not going to doubt the distance here. Accuracy, though, will be the question.
We suggest he's got to kick at the left goal post, and it'll come back on the breeze. Kicks it, and it's faded away a bit further, so didn't start it far enough left. And it was beautifully picked up by our broadcast partner, Bar TV, on that occasion. Of course, it's round 19 of NEFL action, and it is Southport trailing by 8 points.
So the kick out from Hayden to a contest. Giles was the target. He was spoiled. Well done there from Payne. He cut the ball off from Doran, then goes up the line. Will this stay in? No. Just a little bit too much carry and Hall. He'll go towards the middle of the ground to the shortest man on the ground in Fife, to Davis. The former Sun and Eagle sends it towards the forward 50. Numbers favour Aspley. And Gross favours Aspley. There was a sensational mark defensively there in his back pocket.
Oh, he didn't know what was coming, did he? It was good courage. He could have been cleaned up. Gross. And kicks it to the smallest man on the ground in Fife, who outpointed the biggest man on the ground in Spencer. Gives it to Clark. Clark loads it up. He's generally very big by foot. And again, Gross is back there and saves the day. Off to Blake Nellis, and they're away again. This is Henry Joyce.
Joyce gets it towards the wing position. That is a sensational kick up the line.
That's downfield.
It's downfield free. Batchelor moves it on quickly. They have got so much space here, the Hornets. Swallow, who is normally a sensational user, is good this time. Freeman gets it, kicks it, and goals it. You can see that coming from a mile away. It's a 14-point margin, 4-5, 29, 2-3, 15. About to hit time on second term.
That was a very good piece of play, wasn't it? There by Aspley. They moved the ball quickly. They were deep in defence, and they turned defence into attack. I didn't think the kick that came into Freeman was particularly favourable to him by Swallow, but Freeman was enough after the ball was spoiled away from him just to get back on it and drill it home.
He's one of the most dangerous forwards in this competition, not just for his goal-kicking power. Kicked over 30 this year, but the fact that, he provides that option, he draws players to him. He opens things up and options for this Hornets team. As Spencer will go against Howard in the ruck contest this time. Rucks go at it, give it to Spencer that time decisively. Giles sockers it off the ground to Davis. Now it's cleared away. Clayton. He's got a runner coming on the outside in Doran off his non-preferred right. Goes to Hancock, puts it on his head and is promptly spoiled. Hornets have the numbers here. Hayden, he was taken in a tackle. And they'll just want the boundary and get it. As we're 19 and a half minutes into this second term.
So Corbett coming off the ground. I'm just having a look at him. He looked like he was carrying a bit of a shoulder there as he came off. Hasn't had the best of luck. He got knocked out here the last time these two sides played and hasn't played since. Came back in the side today as a late inclusion for Andrew Boston. It was Clayton, I think, who ended up going up in the ruck there. Just feeding the ball out there was Manteet. Couldn't find a target. Ball over the line. Approaching 20 minutes of this second quarter. And the margin, 14 points in favour of the home side, the Hornets.
The home faithful will be happy about that one. Of course, if the Hornets win this afternoon, they'll go to 10 and 6. They could jump as high as third with a win this afternoon. Howard taps it twice, goes forward. There's a contest here. Joyce tries to pick it up. So does Reeves. Neither really get it. Dale with the dreadlocks. Good hand pass to Hancock. The build-up was great, but it was a tough kick to make, and he's put it out on the full, hitting the behind post. It'll be a free kick to the Hornets here. In the back pocket, taken by Joyce.
So a little bit of a half chance there to Hancock. And Aspley now can take it out the other side. Good kick there by Joyce. Finds Jackson Allen. They use the space well. Go down the outer side, they do. Off to Stanley. So again, just spreading wide to create space all over the place. And Stanley goes long down the outer wing. Freeman's a target, but outpointed on that occasion. He jumped too early there, Freeman, and Clark it was that took the nice mark.
50-metre penalty here.
And that will just about take Reece Clark in range, I would have thought.
Certainly does have a cannon, doesn't he? I think that was for descent there, actually. From what I could see, the umpire wasn't too happy. You have to kick from about the point of the square, you'd think. It's a big man on the mark, of course, in John O'Freeman.
So he's going back like he's shaping for it. And he just didn't hit it nicely. It's off the side. It still made the distance, mind you, but it was never likely. 1 point is the margin. And it's back to 13 points as we approach the 21.25 minute mark of this second quarter. The bullet pass doesn't find his target, and Dale can mop it up, kick a goal. That's a touch, it is, I should say. So I was getting a bit excited for nothing as I just assumed it went through. And Allen can go again. So 1 point the margin as we go outside to Gross, and now Payne.
Payne, hand pass short to Toy. Aspley have the run again. There's not that much presenting up forward, but it's a great kick towards the middle of the ground, half forward, taken by Nellis. He's 60 metres out. They've got options everywhere here, the Hornets. Freeman is standing all on his own. He wants to get it. He won't. The kick is towards Warren. Almost took the one-handed mark. Geez, that was a fair effort. We got a stoppage in the forward 50. I think Southport would be a bit concerned in this second quarter, the ease that Aspley are transferring this football from defence.
Yeah, they certainly are. Just getting him on the fast break too. Kick smothered, or Southport kick smothered, fortuitously fell to Doran, who in turn got it on the lead to Hancock. Not sure where to go. So he goes down the line, hauls the target. And the big man just out-athleticized, if there's such a word. It's Stanley and also Johnson. The ball ricochets and Wilkinson lays a nice tackle on Craven. And we'll have a ball up in Southport's forward 50. A chance for them to kick one back. Try and get a bit, close this 12-point margin in this time on to the second quarter.
Howard and Spencer give the honours to Howard that time. Wilkinson couldn't get a soccer away. Toy kicks it up about 50 metres. Swallow drops it. It goes out of play, but it's about 65 out from Southport's attacking goal. It's really not working so far for Mitch Johnson today. He got position that time. He did everything right except take the mark. One he'd normally take, you'd think.
Yeah, just that little bit of strength again. That bigger man, just with the longer reach, is always going to be an issue for him when the ball's up high. Howard had front spot, pushed off by Spencer, and Free kick is paid by the umpire going Howard's way. So he gives it quickly. Manteet gets around one. That man was beard till he got around. Just lobs it up. Johnson's the man. He's sandwiched in amongst three of them. They'll come out of this. Swallow. Quick handball. Finds Toy. They feed it backwards and Stanley just clears the area. And my work out for them as James Nellis runs onto it.
Nellis has the football. He'll try and get past his opponent indoor, and it's a good kick up the line. Freeman, he can turn around quickly. He postured to go towards the middle of the ground. Now he does a bit of a snap kick, puts it on his teammate's head. Not really an effective option, unfortunately, but it is a stoppage. It is in the forward 50. Stackelberg not too happy about that. But again, the Hornets, the way they're moving from half back to half forward, it's very rapid. It's stretching the Sharks a bit this afternoon.
Yeah, it is. And I just haven't been able to totally capitalise. Ives off the ground. No real effect. Davis just puts it back with a bit of interest on it. Allen just got the spoil. It went backwards. That wasn't his intent, but it fell to Hayden anyway. And the kick from him just falls into the arms of Giles.
Where was his opponent? He was all on his own there by about 5-10 metres off the pack.
And he was. And Giles gives it to Gross. So is this a repeat again? He lobs it long, but on this occasion, it's to the near side.
Jeez, that's a good boot.
It's been a good boot for a long, long time. And you'd think that the Sharks would be a little bit more wised up to that. Margin out to 13 points.
Second time that's happened to them in this second quarter. The result of 1-1 over the top. The kick in from Murdoch wasn't great to Warren. This is danger time for Southport. Aspley are getting on top here. The mark was taken from Freeman. Now it'll be interesting to see if he snaps like he did in that opening term. He'll kick from about 25 metres, tight angle, closest to the boundary.
Just pointing to the man on the mark. He's going to go around the corner.
So Freeman, he does go around. That's a better effort, but it's faded very late. The wind didn't help. And through for one behind.
He just didn't get the proper curl on it, did he?
No, he certainly didn't.
Yep.
It looked okay because it was shaping towards goal, but again, that wind factor is it's a 14-point margin. Davis, he'll send it out. He's got a penetrating boot. Now Southport can go. Dale wants the football. He'll receive it now. Hand pass short to a teammate. Wilkinson's there. Couldn't lay the tackle. Lets his opponent go. Giles was tripped. No free kick play on. To Toy. Feeds a hand pass further wide. A lot of numbers for Southport around this. Not really doing that much. Toy puts it in the air. The target, Stackelberg. He couldn't take the mark, but it's out of play. We got a stoppage. Just forward to centre for the Hornets.
Plenty of numbers. Aspley getting their hands on the football. 186 possessions to 141. Reece Toys had 17. Ives and Payne have had 16 as the leading possession getters. Spencer takes it out of the ruck, and he is caught holding the ball. Didn't dispose of it properly, so the advantage now paid. Ruse at half forward. That's a good delivery. It was touched, says the umpire. So Hancock went to ground. He wasn't happy with that call. Swallow. Gowers now to Hampton. Hampton down the line, and coming out to meet it there was Stackelberg. Couldn't take it with him. Gathers it. Now gets a little handball off. Gowers again. That was Ives. A little chipping ball. Finds Toy, and Toy with a spearing little pass finds Freeman. That's 6s and 7s here, Southport.
They certainly are. And it must be said, Aspley, all credit to them this second quarter. They've really opened the game up. It was a really tight opening. They did have the breeze in that first quarter, didn't take advantage, but in this second term, they've really showed their ability on that fast break from defence. They're absorbing the blows from Southport and really just pushing forward in waves and make it looking rather easy, really.
So Jono Freeman, he'll shoot for goal here. 1 goal, 1. Including another out of bounds on the full. So full shot for goal. Again, tough shot. He's going to start this at the right goal post if he's to have any chance. Kicks it low, kicks it hard, and kicks it nicely.
See what happens when you kick a drop punt, eh?
So that's 2 for Freeman. And all of a sudden, Aspley skip away. 20... Well, in fact, it's 20 points the margin. Yes, I doubted myself there. And they move to 5-7-37. Southport 2-5-17. We're nearing half-time here and a decisive move.
Certainly is. I think the absence of Boston is really starting to tell now in the midfield. Just that quality ball use coming out of there, it's just lacking a bit for the Sharks at the moment. If you look at the numbers in terms of clearances, not that much differing them 20-17 in favour of the Hornets, but it's the quality of those clearances, which has resulted in this 20-point lead as we hit half-time.
Spencer, another hit out for him. Swallow, he'll take it away, so hit out to advantage. Coming out to meet it there, Freeman. Couldn't take it on that occasion. Stealing the ball off his opponent was Jasper Craven. Gets it to Ives. He was immediately under pressure, gets a foot to it. No great effect. Ruse waxes with Manteet. Now goes out wide to Murdoch. Back to Ruse, the run. Just corralled there by Craven. O'Shea couldn't take it with him. Now the turnover comes. Or it might be. Yes, it is. Or no, it's not. So scrappy bit of play here. The ball just funneled out now by Beardsall. Tape just kept it in front there. Now the ball to Payne. The former MVP goes across the face.
Halftime can't come quick enough for the Sharks, you'd see. Since kicking that goal a couple of minutes into this second quarter, it's been 5 straight for the Hornets. They're under siege as Clayton kicks it out defensively. Oh, good mark there from Seb Tate. He's been a bit quiet in this second term, but it was well done there as it's half-time. It's a 21-point margin here. Both teams will hit the sheds. Aspley with a lot more satisfaction in their performance in that opening half, Kanga.
Yeah, they will, and they certainly started to get on top, particularly that fast break. Southport couldn't find the open spaces to really kick the goals that they needed to. It was a bit scrappy through the middle at times, but the quality of the ball that you mentioned, and got down to Freeman, who's got 3 goals in this first half. I think I credit him with 2 initially. And opens up a 21-point margin at half-time, and they're going to be tough to stop, just the way the pattern of the game, the way it is panning at the moment. But in saying that, again, we go back to about 4 weeks ago. It was Southport who came back hard against the run of play in the second half to really make a game of it.
We certainly do expect a response after half-time from this Sharks outfit. Of course, they've been the big risers this year. They were second from bottom in season 2017. This year they're on top of the ladder currently right now, although I do believe Canberra did win this afternoon, so it will be interesting to see how they go in this second half to chase this margin. They got a bit of a gap to come.
Well, the teams will head to the change rooms. There'll be plenty to talk about in Southport's change room. And Aspley, they'll be happy and want to keep plugging away there. 21 points they lead by at half-time. The Oz kickers are out on the ground, and we might just survey the scene, the lovely scene as the Oz kickers get out there, and we'll be back with you in the second half very shortly. And we're back after half-time here at Graham Road. It was Aspley who made all the play in the second quarter to kick away to a 21-point lead. Mark Kennedy joined by Riley Starray. And Riley, it was Aspley that made their move. Of course, they got the points about 4 weeks ago in the corresponding clash. And I'm just looking at a bit of a live ladder here. And should results stay as they are in terms of Aspley being in front of the final siren, that'll leave 5 sides on 40 points, all equal first, being the Southport, the Swans, the Demons, Aspley, and also Sydney Uni. So a lot to play for here this afternoon.
It certainly is. It's getting very tight in this back end of the year. Of course, I said at three-quarter time it looked like Canberra was going to get up, but Sydney, they got up over the Demons, so they're in equal top spot right now, and it's a very important half for both sides, but I think particularly for Southport because, as I mentioned at the start of the coverage, if they win this afternoon, they've got the Thunder and the Bombers to play. The Bombers, they play at home. They almost think they might have one hand on the minor premiership here, considering how good their percentage is, which is at 134.4 as we speak.
So we're going to see how this pans out in just a moment. Earlier results, it was a GWS defeating the Gold Coast Suns by 70 points down at Metricon Stadium. And it looked like it was going to be the Canberra Demons getting over the top of the Sydney Swans, but a 6-2 behinds last quarter saw the Swans come from the clouds to get over the top of the Demons. So it keeps it tight at the top. And this one, we'll see what this brings. This is the voice of Riley Starray here on NEFL TV. Thank you to our broadcast partner, Bar TV.
So start of the third term. Southport need to respond here. Tap down there from Spencer, but it goes straight to Wilkinson. He's moved to the midfield towards the full forward line. Hall was bodied underneath it. Southport, a lot of more desperation early. Clayton gets a hand pass. Hancock could kick the first. It was smothered off the boot. Corbett soccers back and cleverly finds Manteet. Goes towards the middle. No mark taken from Clayton. Payne tries to get it away here for the Hornets. Goes to Warren. And a short chipping pass is good to Stackelberg.
Well on there by Stackelberg. Good defence there by Aspley. And that's 50 metres. The umpire did not call play on, so Connor Stackelberg will be the beneficiary of 50 metres. And that is just poor checking. And if Aspley were to kick a goal here, that will be just a little bit of heartbreak as far as Southport are concerned. Certainly
would. Now, we've mentioned the wind all day. You look at the flags on that left side of the ground. It is blowing a gale at the moment, so it'll be interesting to see how far this kick moves.
Good view of this, thanks to our broadcast partner TV. He kicks it, starts it right. It flows over very right and just sneaks in. And one behind, so the margin out to 22 points. Early in this second half as Roos brings the ball back into play.
Roos went to himself, goes to a contest. Spencer, he dropped a mark he could have taken and just takes it out towards the boundary. So it is in Aspley's forward half. They'll keep the pressure on here. It is a 22-point lead. Of course, in their previous clash a month ago, it was around this margin before Southport really put the foot down in that second half. Spencer pushed Howard out, no free kick play on. Payne soccers it off the ground. Roos couldn't quite get it. Payne gets his own football. His hand pass was rather indiscriminate. Well done there from the Hornets. That could be holding the ball. Beardsall thought it was. Sensational tackle nonetheless, and we've got a stoppage inside the forward 50 for the Hornets.
Well, it was Ellard trying to come through very solidly there. Blake Nellis got the handball out with no great effect and stacks on the mill again. So Aspley press on the back of some very industrious work by Payne. Spencer got the handball away as he took it out of the ruck. Roos has his kick blocked. Shears just wrestled off the ball. Gowers gets a kick away. Dangerous spot. Stackelberg. Ball went to ground from tape and it was Blake Nellis who just under pressure sprayed it out of bounds on the full, and Southport can settle and try and get it up the other end of the ground.
They certainly can. Whilst we got a little break in play, leading disposal winners this afternoon, Matthew Payne, he has 20 for the Hornets. Reece Toy, he's got 19. Ives has got 18, 15 of those kicks. Whilst for Southport, it's a little leaner Roos who's going to take this kick in. He's got 15 disposals. Next best is Clayton with 12, and then Manteet with 11. Howard's got 10, and everyone else has less than 10 disposals, so they need to win some footy.
So Roos goes long. Howard's a target. Over the back of Ian Spencer. Joyce just stands, delivers, gets it to Spencer. Chipping ball. Swallows there. 1-on-1 contest, but outpointing Swallow there was Reece Clark. Just averts a little bit of the danger, and then he goes long to the outer side. Doran, that's a good mark, comes down heavily. Just very fortuitously for him, came down heavily on his opponent there in Toy. Getting very gingerly.
Tape. Back to Doran. The kick is an absolute scrubber. Spencer spikes it forward about 10 metres. O'Shea's first there, though, from the Sharks. He slips over at the inopportune time. Doran ducks a couple. They put themselves under real pressure here, the Sharks. They've turned it over. Freeman hand passes towards the boundary at the advantage of Payne coming up for disposal. 21. Goes further back to his teammate in Joyce. Sends it towards the forward 50. Big mark taken there. Poor body work from Murdoch. And the beneficiary for the Hornets is James Nellis. He will kick from about 45.
Well, Murdoch just lost touch with his opponent there. And then Nellis, it almost ended up a pretty elementary mark at the end of the day because he stood there, jumped straight up in the air and took it with the two hands. As Murdoch was just left clutching and feeling for an opponent.
So Nellis, the kick off the boot, it is far too skinny. It's out on the full. Aspley, they're missing a few chances here. They've kicked 5-9 this afternoon. They've sent 3 out on the full. There's the kick in from Roos to Manteet in his back pocket.
When inside 50s now going Aspley's way, 32-26 at quarter time. It was very much the way as Hall goes high. That's a very nice mark from a very good athlete. A little chipping ball comes out and Southport have the run of it as the defenders made a meal of it for Aspley. Here's Johnson, first touch of the footy today. Forced a handball. Clayton on hands and knees, wrapped up there by Joyce, who's not sure what you'd call that move. He's the planking on him.
I think that's the best description we can come up with currently. But again, Johnson, his first touch, he really needs to lift here to give his side a real chance. Payne gets the clearance. It's a good kick to Beardsall. He'll turn around. There's not that much movement ahead of the football. Presenting with Stackelberg for the short option instead. He has to be content to go to a 2-on-2 to Freeman. Good spoil at the back from Tape. Falls down to Craven. I've liked his game this afternoon. Goes to Toy. They are queuing up here, the Hornets. There's a free option in the square. Stackelberg decided not to take it. And he'll have a shot from 45 metres out, and they're going for the jugular.
Well, I think Stackelberg looked up, and I think he took the right option in the finish because it was going to have to be a kick around the corner. But now the responsibility falls on his shoulders to finish off.
Certainly does. Not too much of an angle. We have got a fantastic view here. It's a low kick. It's one behind. It's 23 points the margin. 5-10-40 to 2-5-17. Just over 6.5 gone into this third term.
Well, they come out the outer side. Baxter has the ball. In fact, he doesn't take a mark as it's Craven who takes the mark there on the outer side. Very nice play there by Jasper Craven, son of Danny. In fact, that was Coughlin. Got them confused. I do apologise. As Clark takes a good defensive mark. Goes short. Not sure that went the required distance, but play on's the call. Murdoch. That's not a good kick as they're just queuing up behind the footy. And on this occasion, it's Jack Stanley who can just put the ball back in or just look for a nice option to just try and spread the play as the ball goes in the direction of Jordan Arnold, the boy from Glenorchy.
Arnold, he chips it short to Stackelberg. He's been lively in this third term. He's going to send it to a leading Freeman. Goes over both players' heads. Clark fell over. He's in a little bit of trouble here. He's clutching. He clutched at his right leg. He doesn't look too well. As the ball's about to come back in, we'll keep our tabs on that one. They've already lost Charlesworth for the day, of course, the Sharks.
So this throw-in's a little bit short. Spencer got it down to Swallow. Swallow, his handball's intercepted by Manteet. Manteet down the line. 1-on-1 contest. Hancock and also Allen. And it was Allen that won the day and follows up, gets the ball. Hampton on the run, just eludes Johnson. Stanley back to Hampton. Little short chipping ball. Good spoil there by Tate. He's back in defence. Fife goes to the outer side. Dale's the target. Payne was there with him, but Dale gets it over the top. O'Shea just gets the run of it now. Looking for a little chipping ball. Just forced a prop. There was Clayton. Allowed the defender in Arnold to get a hold of him. He'll get it back now. Back to Jackson Allen. They're away as Warren chips it out wide. And Hampton out the far side.
So Hampton, he's got it in his back pocket. The Hornets have scrambled really well defensively since quarter time. His kick up the line's good. Find a teammate, Nellis, at half back. Not too much ahead of the footy. So he's going to have to just be content to go short with the chipping pass to Coughlin. Coughlin looks towards the middle of the ground. Finds a teammate in Joyce. Now, there's not too much movement ahead, but there's a switch on. And they've executed it really well here, the Hornets. Allen with that right boot. It's an absolute scrubber of a kick. Wilkinson goes to Hall. Back to Wilkinson. They really need to capitalise here, the Sharks. It's a good kick. It is a brilliant kick, and Baxter's got it about 50 out, and he looks like he's going to posture to have a shot at goal.
Yeah, I'm just not sure he's got the leg on him. He's going a little bit into the breeze here, and he'll go from right to the left. He'll come across the face towards us.
Have to take his best effort from there. Could be a team-lifting goal to bring it back to 17. He got really close to the man on the mark. It's not a bad effort, but will drop short. Huge pack of players at the bottom of that man. Teat got a soccer, but it's through for one behind. So no real harm done there from the turnover from Allen. It's a 22-point game. We've played 10 minutes.
So Jackson Allen. So we just see that Reece Clark, he's got the ankle issue. O'Shea in the middle of the ground. Giles was with him. Ball spills out. Seb Tate couldn't take it clean in the first occasion. Just almost slips a tackle. Fife, he's wrapped up by Gowers, and that's going nowhere, and the umpire will ball that up. Not far from the centre circle. And I have to say a centre circle because there's 3 circles in the centre of Graham Road. Like a bit of crop circles. Those mystery circles that appear in places. Coughlin wrapped up there by Shears. Under pressure. O'Shea, he'll get the run of it. Ruse now. Probably been their best today so far, although that handball doesn't do wonders for his team. Hampton comes through. Dangerous kick-ups inside forward 50. And it was Murdoch that beat James Nellis to the ball.
Murdoch off his left foot, sends it out towards the outer side. It's a good kick. Finds teammate Manteet. Drop football there from Ruse. Now back to Manteet. Back to Ruse. They share it between the pair. It's an absolute scrubber of a kick off the boot, but it works out okay. Wilkinson, ever dangerous, but he wasn't very good there. He's pinged for holding the ball, and nothing's really gone right for Southport since quarter time. The free kick to be taken from Gowers, and he'll send it back defensively to the big man in terms of the left foot kicking Gross.
And Gross has good range and good pinpoint accuracy on that occasion. He finds Coughlin. Coughlin comes out towards Craven. They're trying to attack in ascending number order. Gets back on it now, Craven. And what I was going to say earlier is Craven, the son of former St Kilda and Brisbane Bear Danny Craven. Of course, heavily involved in football still here in Queensland. Hello to the Craven family. No doubt be watching.
So the throw in. Spencer and Howard resume hostilities. Give it to Spencer that time. Beardsall was taken high after his kick. Nothing doing. Manteet got a hand pass to O'Shea to Fife, the smallest man on the ground. Now it's just hacked out of there by Reeves, who's put on the zinc. And Gross, when he's got it this afternoon, he's been very good, and that's a sensational kick. Swallow. Hand passes to a teammate in Gowers. Steps inside one, sends it towards the forward line. Numbers favour Southport here. If it falls, it does. Murdoch. Oh, what a don't argue on Coughlin. That was Dustin Martin like. He'll send it towards the forward 50. Pushed out of there was Hancock. He's got the free. Advantage is paid. Johnson, can this get him into the game? He'll head towards goal. 15 out, and he kicks it. He needed that. The Sharks needed that. That is their first goal since the 2-minute mark of the second quarter. It's brought it back to 16, 5-10-40, the 3-6-24. 13 minutes gone into this third term.
Well, it's an understatement to say that they needed that. In this low-scoring game, Southport, they got only their third on the board. It's probably only the fact that Aspley have kicked quite errantly at goal that's really kept them as close as they are now, at 16 points adrift. And you mentioned Mitch Johnson doesn't need many touches to really impact the contest, but he needs to break free of the auspices of the likes of Stanley and also Allen that have been like a glove on him so far this afternoon.
They certainly have. Let's hope for his sake that increases his confidence, because when he's going very well. He's an exciting player to watch. So back in the middle, it will be Howard and Spencer.
So we'll give that one a bit of a stalemate there. No clear winner. Gowers lays a tackle. That's going nowhere. So we'll do it all again.
You're certainly right, though, about Aspley's inaccuracy. They could be 6 or 7 goals in front, to be frank. It's just interesting to see if that will come back to bite them towards the end.
So Baxter was beaten to it there by the big fellow in Giles. Now the ball inside forward 50 and was mopped up there by Tate, but the handball wasn't the best one. Murdoch, Ruse, clever handball, puts it in the path of Doran, who couldn't take it with him, and the ball out of bounds. And that's probably just a little bit sloppy at various times that have just cost them some goals. And when you take into account that they really gave up a goal first up from a poor turnover, they should have been a lot closer to Southport, albeit, as we mentioned, with Southport's Aspley's inaccuracy.
So the kick inside 50 was an absolute shocker there from Gowers. Just missed the target. Ruse, who he continues to stand tall for a team under siege, takes the mark. He's about 30 metres out from his defensive goal square. He's going to send it towards Howard. The wind takes it towards Tape. It goes over the line for a throw-in. So next goal is massive here. You just get the feeling Aspley to keep that 22-point distance if they kick the next one. But if Southport would get it and reduce it to 10, certainly game on.
The breeze has abated a little. Quite as fierce as it was before. Howard, front spot. Now Giles couldn't get it to Payne effectively. Dale just feeds it back, tries to keep it in, but eventually the ball goes out of play. We'll do it again. Umpire will throw it back in. Not far from us here in the commentary position, of course, a Neefle. Proudly sponsored by Elastoplast, and thanks to them and also our broadcast partner, Bar TV, as the ball comes back into play. Spencer. Ball hit the ground. Hampton tries to elude a couple. Feeds it back to Gowers. Now to the run of Joyce. Gets it down the line. Long inside forward 50. And well done there by Seb Tape. He'll look to move it quickly. Gives it to, or eventually gets to the run of Ruse from Murdoch. Over the top to Davis. Davis trying to spot up a target in the middle of the ground. Does it effectively. It's Fife. Fife to Hancock. Little bit of room to move. Has Clayton. He just runs and the mark's taken just right on forward 50. That's where Hampton's standing the mark. Now the numbers flood back.
Clayton will wheel around, sets it towards the tip of the square. A pack of 4 will form. Spoiled the back there, was well done from the Hornets in Stanley. And it's now cleared out of there, but it could be coming right back. Hall has taken the mark. He's about, no, sorry, not Hall. It was Kenny. He's taken about 53 metres out. He'll have to kick. He sets it to Murdoch from the square. It's a bomb, but it's ugly and gross. It was touched off the boot, actually, so he had to play on. Still a lot of numbers around this one. Brilliantly tackled there from Gowers, I believe.
Yep.
We'll have a stoppage, 30 out in the Sharks 50.
Well, Murdoch's kick was touched off the boot. And it was play on with Gross there. So ball up again. Ball just spoiled out. Warren's back there to give the Hornets extra numbers. Gowers just kicks for the boundary line. This is going to be an interesting decision, and deliberate it is. Had no real thought process or anything but the boundary line, so fair free kick for mine. O'Shea puts it back down inside the forward 50. Hall had front spot, and he just looked like he was going to mark it. The athleticism of Hall, as the ball just held up a little in the breeze, he was just in the right spot.
You know, he's really looked like their only real attacking threat this afternoon, Hall.
So just a little bit of push me, shove you going on. Dale and Payne and Warren and Mantee amongst it. As Hall comes in, 45-degree angle, swings back. Is it staying enough? No.
That
Look
how much
online.
the wind.
Yep, you would have got a good look on that on Neefel TV. 1 point is the result as Jackson Allen brings it back in. Back pocket, he kicks.
So in the defensive back pocket, Aspley have it. Hayden will clear it towards the wing. Nellis, the target, spoiled over the back from Davis, and we'll have a stoppage. Tell you what, though, as I was saying, Hall, he has looked very dangerous this afternoon when he's had a clean run and jump at it, hasn't he?
Yeah, he certainly has. He's only got 3 points to show for his shots at goal, though. So that's where they need to be a bit more dangerous. Both sides, in fact. Baxter just pushed Spencer off the ball, inside forward 50. Ball goes to ground. Hancock and Allen. The numbers arrive for Aspley to try and hold the ball up, and they do so successfully. 40 metres out, directly in front as Southport attack, and I'd love a goal here to close it back to 10. Or in fact 9.
They certainly would. It would more than keep them in the game. Give the honours, really an actual stalemate that time in the ruck. One-on-one contest goes over the head of Freeman. Now Aspley have the numbers. The kick inside from Gowers to Nellis. Couldn't quite take the mark. Well done there from the defender in Kelly, but Nellis, he's kicked it. He's a bit bigger than his opponent. He showed it that time with the strength, and that margin is just kept at arm's length. It is 21 points the margin, 6-10, 46 to 3-7-25. We're about to hit time on into this third term.
Well, crucial goal, isn't it? We had Hall up the other end and said it wasn't the easiest of shots given the breeze, but then the ball goes down the other end and James Nellis takes advantage of the situation. Hasn't had a massive impact upon the contest, just the 6 kicks, but on that occasion just outbodied the slightly smaller Kenny and made the most of it. So the margin back out to 21 points.
Certainly is. Southport need to respond here. Certainly plenty of time left, but in a low-scoring game. They go quickly.
So Spencer won the hit out, but then cleaned up there with Swallow. The run of Southport, that was Doran, in and under, Fife, Manteet, Dale. Now to Clayton. Just tries to protect the drop zone. Well done there by the defender in Arnold. Coming out there, Doran lays the tackle now. It's tied up underneath a few. Ball just spills out though. And that is a push in the back for mine, I thought. No call from the umpire. All the momentum from the tackler forced him down, and I think that should have been a free kick Southport's way, but not to be, as Aspley, their defence holds on.
They have scrambled very well defensively this afternoon, the Hornets. Spencer spikes it out of the congested zone. Craven will be first there for the Hornets. He'll be happy to take it over the line, but you're certainly right about that push. That looked pretty obvious from our angle here, you'd have to say, but nothing really doing. So we'll have another stoppage, and it'll be Howard, and it'll be Spencer in the ruck once again. A lot of numbers around this one. Southport need to respond. Spencer wins it down that time. Nothing really doing there for Manteet to get it out. Gross just gets it on that left foot. And now Stackelberg, he's all on his own. It is a one-on-one inside the 50. Nellis will posture. He doesn't go there initially. Goes to Toy. Now the kick over the top. And that, I have to say, is really poor from the Sharks as it's another goal to the Hornets. It's a 27-point lead. Blake Nellis the beneficiary. Just that spread from the Hornets that time, getting over the back of the Sharks zone. It's proving fatal for them this afternoon.
Well, it was, at the end of the day, it really was the fast break of the Hornets. And it was great work there by Stackelberg just to find the loose player and not just bomb it away to that one-on-one, because they had the numbers and they worked it through very well. And it set it up, and it was a good goal to Blake Nellis. Puts the margin out to 27 points, and you'd think it's going to be very difficult to come back from here for Southport, just with the sheer energy that Aspley seem to be exuding in the way they're going about their footy.
They're certainly playing at a very high effort rate this afternoon, the Hornets. It's a credit to their organisation. Is back in the middle. Spencer wins the tap down. Going through uncontested there was Ives towards the forward line. He'll send it out of play, and they really need to hold here, the Sharks. They can't really do much more wrong, otherwise they're going to be out of it. And a golden opportunity to go a game clear at the top will slip.
27 points the margin. We've played 23, or over 23 minutes in this quarter. Fife lays the tackle on Toy, and the ball will be thrown up. So another opportunity here for the Hornets. Another goal here, you just about reckon, is going to make it very, very difficult. Spencer bats it in the path of his on-ballers. It's been one of the differences today. Ives, and he's right there, Wilkinson, and it's a push from Wilkinson, so Ives will win the free kick. It's been a busy, busy player today. James Ives, 20 disposals so far. Really liked his game. 7 clearances, 6 inside 50s, Ives. Difficult shot, though.
Certainly is, but if he can kick it, he'll make it 33. And you got to say, top off what has been a fantastic 3 quarters of football for him personally and for his club.
Goes around the corner and nails it. So James Ives, been doing it at both ends. I mentioned his stats before. That was his 21st disposal. Couple of tackles, 7 clearances, 6 inside 50s, 3 rebound 50s, and now a goal to go with it. And Aspley, they're looking like winners in this contest.
They certainly are. What would you do if you were the Sharks? I mean, they're 33 points down. I mean, there's still over a quarter to go, so there is time. They do have the quality, but positionally, what do you think would really help them at the moment? Kanga?
Well, I think they need to put more numbers around the footy and just open up the forward 50, just perhaps a one-on-one with Hall down deep. Isolate and use his athleticism to try and work it through. Ball back in the middle. Spencer. Coughlin tackled as he fed it back. It was Hayden with the kick. And off the ground goes Davis. But I'll tell you what, Aspley, they're coming through. Now there's a flying Davis trying to take the tackle. In fact, got the mark, I should say. I forgot who it was coming through. He was coming through a million miles an hour.
Tell you what, he's hurt, though, on the outer side. And it's Manteet with the football as we continue the play. Goes to Fife.
He's Ives down.
It's Ives down. We were just saying how good his day's been so far.
It's a bit Fife, of a dampener.
It certainly is. Back to Rouge. Now, they do have the switch here, Southport. Tape is posturing. Murdoch's also standing right in front of the commentary box. That's where this kick will go, but it's the next kick that's important. Ellard presenting short. He's called to play on here, Murdoch, so he has to go up the line, trying to find O'Shea. No mark taken. Well done from Swallow. Payne to Swallow. There's a bit of quality in that sentence there. It's at the bottom of the pack. Ellard, he ties it up and we'll have a stoppage. So it was well positioned there for the Sharks, but they're just not as clean with the ball this afternoon and decisive with their movement, unfortunately, for them.
Well, it's that kick there that was just breaking down for them as they're sort of getting the ball effectively out of half back, but it's breaking down at half forward at the moment. Spencer gets it going his way. Gowers tackled by Manteet and locked up right in front of us here. Opportunity for a few interchanges and plenty of messages coming thick and fast from the bench. Spencer off 2 feet, just gets the arm up. Warren just gets bowled over, and then Payne tries to funnel the ball backwards to Joyce. Goes over the boundary line, and Payne gets up quite gingerly. 23 disposals, Matty Payne. He's been in the thick of it. 3 clearances, 4 inside 50s and a behind to trouble the scorers with. We're away again, Wilkinson. Warren, just off the ball. Toy. There's a little bit of angst in there, I think. As it's Ellard, gets it going forward and finds Clayton.
Clayton, he's about 65 metres out. Gross and Warren are hurt here. They clashed with each other. It won't matter to Clayton, who kicks it towards the forward line. Target from the back. Oh, that is a sensational mark from Wilkinson. He flew over 2. And this is a must kick. It must be a goal for Southport to bring it back within 5 goals and make it gettable from 3/4 time.
Well, I know it's a different game, different circumstances, but we saw the Sydney Swans kick 6 last quarter goals to get over the top of Canberra. Now well behind at 3/4 time. But they need this one, Southport, just to give them a sniff, if you like, and build that momentum and confidence leading this last quarter.
Wilkinson from 30 metres out. The umpire barely moves. So he's kicked a goal. That's number 4 for Southport this afternoon. It's a 27-point game, 8:10:58 to 4:7:31. 28 minutes gone into this third quarter. That was much needed for the Sharks. Maybe if they can sneak one before three-quarter time, bring it back to within 4 goals, they'll have a real hope going into this last quarter with a breeze, which is still going a little bit to the right of screen.
Well, they are down a few troops, aren't they, Southport? I haven't seen Noah Corbett trouble the statisticians other than a couple of tackles so far this afternoon. Of course, Charlesworth's off the ground with a knee issue, and then also Clark off the ground with an ankle issue. So they're going to have to come home strong with the breeze, but 27 points is not insurmountable. It's going to be tough, though.
Certainly is Spencer. Advantage by the bounce there. Punch the forward to Swallow. Here's some quality. Good kick into the 50. Good spoil at the back, though, there from Tape. It falls to Davis with the green boots on this afternoon. Heads towards the wing position. No mark taken. Well done from Gross in front of his opponent in Baxter. And it's a nice little chipping ball. Aspley have looked a bit more composed this afternoon. It showed there.
So Blake Nellis was the man that got it. Freeman, he launched himself at it. Ground level there was Craven. Around the corner goes James Nellis. Doran tries to affect the spoil. Trouble here. There's players lurking for Aspley, but Manteet and now Murdoch says, let's get it out of here. Clayton and also Joyce. Getting back on it was Toy. Toy just squares it up. Can't find Gowers. It was close there. And then it was cleared, but only momentarily by the Southport defence as big Gavin Gross. Tell you what, if he launched it from here, and he's gone for the barrel, he just didn't get off. Freeman, it was on his chest, but he couldn't handle it. And the ball at ground level, siren goes. And at three-quarter time, the margin's 27 points. In that quarter, it was 3 goals to Aspley, 3 goals too, but it seemed like they had a lot more shots at goal and a lot more chances than Southport, who kicked 2 goals to that quarter. And I think we're set up for an intriguing last quarter. And it looks like Noah Corbett's not going to take any further part in the game. He's got some tape around a calf. And also the fact that this has implications on really the top 2, top 4, as we look to who's going to host home finals in week 1 and week 2. I think today's result is going to go a long way to deciding that as we move into the last few rounds.
It certainly will. Aspley, of course, they have been a champion football team for such a long time. It's just a matter of them of getting into the finals and going from there. They can certainly threaten. They've showed their quality this afternoon. Southport is going to take a Herculean effort this afternoon to win that. Obviously, they've lost Charlesworth. They've lost Corbett, who we just saw walk out, and we've just seen Reece Clark try to warm up, and I don't think he's going to take any further part this afternoon. He looks very proppy. It's a massive order, but you know, they do have quality, and anything can happen in football. It's only 27 points. That's 5 goals. It's certainly doable. It's just if they can.
Well, we'll let the players get some messages, and we'll catch our breath, and we'll be back for a big last quarter here at Graham Road on NEFL TV. Aspley breaking from their huddle with they 27 points in front of Southport here at three-quarter time. Round 19, NEFL football. Graham Road at Aspley, so the home side look like they are going on with the job. Mark Kennedy's my name, joined by Riley Storey. And Riley, Aspley, they've really put in a really workmanlike performance today.
They certainly have. That first quarter, both sides really scrappy, but since then they've showed their quality, and I think they've probably just got to the football a bit quicker, and they've tackled a bit harder. Their effort levels have been incredibly high. They knew the stakes of this one, and barring a fantastic quarter from Southport, they're going to come away for their 10th win of the year.
You'd think so, but we'll see what presents itself as we go into this last quarter. It'll be Spencer up against Howard. Spencer's been dominant this afternoon. 43 hit-outs to three-quarter time. Gowers tackled by Dale and also Mantee. You just wonder how many... he's had 5 clearances as well. Spencer, 14 possessions. No real clear winner of that hit-out. Clayton, wrapped up by Toy. We'll do it all again. So a lot of those hit-outs have been to advantage. You've had Payne and Toy and Ives and of course, Swallow running onto the ball. Howard got the better of Spencer on that occasion. Ellard wrapped up by Gowers. And we'll do it all again. Almost submitted to the tackle, did Ellard there. And the Aspley players were calling for holding the ball, not to be.
Certainly not. It's interesting to note not too many positional changes at this stage for Southport to try and rest it in their favour. Davis, an absolute up and under of a kick, haul the target. 2-on-1. Gross couldn't take the mark. It falls over the back. Baxter must kick it, and he does kick it. So just like that, really out of nothing, it's back to 21 points. 8-10, 58, 5-7, 37. Less than 1.5 minutes gone into this final term, and good start for Southport there.
Well, when you're in your 100th game, it's always, and you're a forward, it's good to get on the scoreboard, and that's what Josh Baxter's done there. Gives his team a lift. And they need to keep the momentum going. A little bit of momentum that they've just got from kicking that goal very early, just a minute in. And we're going to see what happens as we see Noah Corbett back on the ground. I thought he was taped up and done for the day. Fooled me.
Fooled me too. He looked very proppy.
Hasn't had a touch, though, on the scoreboard.
He hasn't. But Spencer gets the tap out. Swallow was held as he tried to get it. Ruse gets half a hand pass out. Dale almost takes off a teammate's head with that soccer. We'll have a stoppage on the closest to us of the 3 circles. As you were mentioning before, it's a little bit of a quirk, but it is certainly what it is. It's back at the stoppage. Spencer, straight to Davis, kicked into Dale's head. Now Mantee kicks it straight into Howard. So nothing really moving here for Southport at this occasion. Swallow was taken in a tackle, and we'll have another stoppage.
So we haven't travelled very far since that goal. We've had a minute of play, and it's gone nowhere. Howard from the back. Swallow off the ground. Well done there by Clayton to Ellard to half forward now. Hall just emerging with the ball there. Doing very well was Arnold. I'll get out of this. And that was Hayden, and eventually gets it out and finds, might be, it's Coughlin. Yeah. So Coughlin to the outer wing. Blake Nellis at ground level just gathers the ball. They've got numbers out here. Beardsall on his hands and knees takes the mark on the outer wing.
Beardsall is content to hold it up here. Wait for the troops to head forward. It's a short chip pass to Gowers. He's been lively this afternoon, Willie Gowers. He's been certainly one of their better players for the Hornets. He'll send it forward. Spencer, the target, couldn't take the mark. Falls to the bottom of the pack. Big tackle laid there. Nothing really doing. Spencer just hacks at the football. Couldn't get it out. Now it comes out. Toy comes towards the middle. Nellis. They're queuing up here, the Hornets. Hand pass to Freeman. They've made a meal of it. It could have been a free kick for a hold. Nothing doing. Ben Warren is quite frankly disgusted in that call. But it's a behind, and Davis will send it towards the outer side.
So not a good kick because Coughlin was there. Ellard works him off the ball, gathers, but then wrapped up by that man Coughlin. And one thing I will say, Ben Warren, he's not afraid to question umpire's call.
Certainly not. I think it's about the 5th time I've seen that today.
Certainly not shy of asking the question of the umpire or giving a bit of advice. Spencer from the back, Howard. There's a free kick. And which way is this going to go?
It's at the back. There was a hold there from Corbett, so it's a downfield free.
Yeah. So Spencer loads it up. Dangerous spot at the back there with Stackelberg. I thought he pushed his opponent off the ball, but legally, says the umpire, so he can go back and shoot and put it just about out of reach, you'd think, for Southport.
You certainly would, and make it a very tough assignment. But he did push out there, but at the same time, you've got to take the mark when you get the body position, and unlike Mitch Johnson a couple of times today, who hasn't, he certainly did. He should extend it to 27.
Directly in front. Comes in, makes no mistake. Margin out to 28. And we have played approaching 5 minutes of this last quarter. 1 goal apiece in the last quarter. And status quo maintained from three-quarter time largely.
It certainly is. It was a good reply there from the Hornets. They'll be pretty happy with that. Of course, they'll be content to keep it at this margin. They wouldn't really want this to massively turn into a really fast-paced open final term. They'll be completely content to just have numbers around the contest because they are the ones with the lead, and it's a pretty significant one at this time.
So bounce in the middle again. Spencer does it easily, puts it right down the throat of Swallow, who in turn, a little wobbly kick, but finds Toy on forward 50. Toy, chipping ball, goes out to Coughlin, and he can go back and shoot for goal now. And that's Ruse, who's a little bit ginger. Plays on to Coughlin. He saw Ruse was down injured and then shoots for goal and just dropped short and could only find Murdoch.
Murdoch short. It is okay to Ellard. Hand pass inside to Davis. Worked into a bit of trouble. Ruse, who's got up now. Hand pass inside to Ellard. He'll send a forward kick about 30 metres right over Wilkinson's head. And that's been the story of Southport's day, unfortunately. Just bad disposal in opportune time. Allen goes towards that outer side.
That was straight down the throat of Toy. So Reece Toy just standing assessing. Happy just to put the ball out wider to the benefit of Swallow. And Swallow, his kick wasn't a wonderful one. Bounced in front of Blake Nellis. And we'll have a throw in. Just outer side. Aspley by 28 points. Started the season very wobbly, did Aspley. They've slowly found their groove, a little bit up and down, but certainly starting to find a little bit of rhythm. Spencer handballed it out of the ruck. Ball ends up with Davis and goes to the outer wing. Johnson's there, punched away by Stanley, did well. Coughlin has the ball tackled from him. Dale, likewise by Gross. Doran, he is absolutely dumped. And that'll be a free kick going the way of Doran, and he hasn't moved. He's in a little bit of trouble, or he's getting up now, but Jack Stanley is the man that dumped him down. And it's no good when the head hits the ground first, so it might be something that might get looked at. I don't think there was any great malice in it, but it was certainly
a free kick.
It was certainly a free kick, and it was a tackle of great aggression.
Certainly was. Doran feeds a hand pass out. Davis broke away from his opponent, sends it towards the forward 50, over everyone's head. Even the big man Spencer couldn't get that. It'll be Manteet to bring it back to 22 points. He must kick it, it must be said, to at least keep it within touch.
Yeah, it's hard to see them really gaining momentum, but Michael Manteet kicked one this afternoon, the first of the game, lining up for number 2.
Gets close to the man on the mark, too close. In fact, you could see that from a mile away. Hampton to Gross, kicks it over the top, and that's a good kick. That is a very good kick. He finds Hayden, and really Southport, they've let themselves down at times with their efficiency. Not just going forward, but in front of goal. The kick. Spencer the target. He's just too big for Howard. He's really starting to get on top here. Howard's been game with his effort, but Spencer, he's just got the size. He goes short down the line. Finds Ives just in front of us in the commentary box. Ives. Swallow is completely on his own if he can see him. He doesn't. Instead goes shorter to soak up a little bit more time, and Beardsill, he'll have it about 65 out.
Beardsill can go back to Ives, so just working it down slowly. We'll find a target now. Southport a push back in numbers, so just setting it up is Ives. Looking for a target. Freeman was that man, but just chiming in nicely was Ryan Davis. He's up the middle. Baxter, right on defensive 50. No real targets, so it goes laterally to Clayton. I think Clayton's actually tried pretty hard. 16 disposals. That's number 17 out to Rouge, who's had the most of it. Of anybody on the ground, 27. Gives it to Tape and then gets it back to Tyler Rouge. Down the line, Mitch Johnson. And the spoil came from Jackson Allen. And he's just done another number very much on Mitch Johnson so far. He's got one goal, Mitch Johnson, but been very well held generally. Just the 2 touches for the afternoon.
Question does have to be asked. Johnson, he has tried very hard, but he is under 6 foot. You've got to question whether they need another tall target up forward for Southport. Swallows hand pass back to Coughlin. Kicks it out on the full, but what do you think of that, Kanga? Do they need another tall target to challenge in September?
Well, I think they just need a go-to that can bring the ball to ground at various times. And Josh Hall's up here now. So, Gross with the big spoil. Ball flipped off hands. Ends up with Swallow. Swallow just kicks it out wide. Tapes the man underneath it. Freeman was there with him. Ball hits the deck. Goes back. Good tackle there by Beardsill. Just brings it back into dispute. 360 there from Corbett. Ball ends up with Rouge, though. Comes out to half forward on the commentary side of the ground. It eludes Hall. And then good handball there by Mitch Johnson. And then to Hall, who was running in. Probably need to kick the drop punt and decided to just go the little banana.
So the kick out defensively. Good mark taken there from Ives. Hall, he's had a good day in terms of his output, but he's kicked 4 behinds this afternoon. So he'd be disappointed in that. Ives towards the wing. It's a good kick. He finds Giles just behind centre. We've played almost 12 minutes into this final term, so time is really starting to become a factor here for the Sharks. Giles further up the line. Freeman the target in front of Kenny. Good spoil there from the ladder, and it's out of play right on the wing.
Well, that was a badly missed goal there by Hall. Context of the game, some 10 minutes into the last quarter, would have been able to narrow the margin to 22 points and not to be. Spencer favoured by the throw-in. Just upended was Coughlin there in the tackle. Corbett's in there. Hard bodies. Ball goes back Southport's way. And the ball will beat everybody over the boundary line. So forward to centre, out of sight. We'll have a throw-in. 12 and a half minutes gone last quarter. Here's Aspley by 27 points. Just looking at a live ladder. And percentage is going to become all-important. Aspley, 103.5% in live ladder as tackle and the ball's tied up underneath plenty. Southport on top at the moment, 133%. All these teams on 40 points, competition points, mind you. Sydney Swans second, 129.5. Canberra, 111.5. And then back to Aspley on 103.5. And then Uni on 100. Ball inside forward 50. Gross can mop up. Gives it to Jackson Allen. They've been a good dynamic duo. Back in defence there. And the ball from Jackson Allen's kick just dribbles over the ball harmlessly. It was aimed at a target, but errant was the kick, so it will be a throw in.
So we've played 13 and a half minutes here into this final term. Feels like a little bit of a stalemate at the moment. Both sides just edging towards the line. Southport really need a move on. Howard tapped it straight to Toy now. It's cleared out of there from Gowers, sends it forward about 40 metres. Nellis, he was taken in the back. No free kick. Well done from Kenny to at least force the stoppage. We'll have a ball up just forward to centre here for the Hornets. I'll be pretty impressed with their work this afternoon. Last game against Southport was a nail-biter, but it looks like they're going to come out pretty comfortably.
It's not over yet. We saw Southport really close in the finish last game. Corbett does well. Ruse, Ellard has a loose man further afield. O'Shea it is. Just puts it in space and said, Baxter, you go after it. He just knocks Gross over, but he had a bit of a back up. Then Hancock knocks Gross over again. Warren stands in the tackle. Play on's the call. Craven, he'll attack it. Got plenty of numbers against him. Ruse, he gets the ball. Blake Nellis applied the tackle, then belts it off the ground. This might work out well if they get free. They can't quite do so. Murdoch just waxes with Baxter, gets it back, and then goes a scrubby little kick down the line, only as far as Warren.
Warren's hand pass inside was good, went straight to Toy. He's just looking for options now, retreats further back to Payne. And it's a clever kick outside to Craven. Just defensively of the wing. Down the line the kick will go. It's another good one. Finds Ives. So Aspley in this final turn, they're pretty content to hold it up, pretty content to just keep the football and keep possession. Fife. He turned it over, sends it back down the line. The target's Wilkinson. No mark. Aspley have the numbers defensively. First there is Hayden. He was taken in a very strong tackle. It's gone out of play and we'll have a throw in. We've now played 15 and a half into this final term.
The last couple of games, if we just talking that this game is starting to become, or certainly look like it is, Aspley's there. Focus starts to become what's happening in the next few weeks. Who teams are playing in order to where they're going to finish on the ladder. Southport get the scrubby handball out. Payne, Toy, he's been very good. Copped one in the eye at one stage, but then has got up and been very manful in the way he's gone about it. That's a free kick going Aspley's way. O'Shea is the man that gives it away, and it's Jasper Craven that earns the kick. Goes out wider. As Gowers, and Gowers goes backwards, and they're just keen to hold on to the ball now. Just soak a bit of time up.
The kick down the line to Spencer was sensational. He's taken the mark just forward of the wing, and he'll send it back. Finds Hayden over the top. The kick is another good one. They are just content to hold possession at the moment here. Allen, hand pass inside. Craven, he breaks two tackles, sends it forward. The target was Nellis. It bounces further wide to Giles. Now it'll hit Nellis. He'll set up from the pocket towards the other Nellis. Falls down the bottom of the pack. Well done there from Southport to at least allay the fears. Ellard was taken high after he handballed. No free kick play on Ruse. He'll send it towards Johnson. He can't take the mark. He's been worn like a glove all afternoon. There's a good spoil there from Stanley, and we'll have a stoppage. And the Hornets, it has been a real, as you said a few minutes ago, workmanlike performance this afternoon.
Well, coming into the finals, you never know if these two teams will meet, so the psychology of what happens this afternoon is all important. Ball fed out there by Toy, then to Warren, and then on the lead, the go-go gadget arms of Jono Freeman. Will win the mark and the free kick and shot for goal. Freeman's got 3. He can shoot for number 4.
It's a pretty good result, really. 4 goals this afternoon. He's been very prominent. He's worked hard, pushed up the field. He's been a real target for the Hornets this afternoon. This will cap off what's been a very good day for him as we head towards the end of this one, and inevitability descends upon it.
Jono Freeman. Tough kick for goal. This one, we saw Gavin Gross kick one from here, though. And lines it up. It's coming back on the breeze and doesn't quite get there.
It's very close.
It was very close. I thought for a moment it slid to the correct side of the goalpost to be a goal, but not to be. Behind, and Aspley out by 28 points.
Ruse kick into Mantee. Southport really should just throw caution to the wind here, see what they can get. The kick down the middle. No mark taken from Spencer. Davis socketed out of the air. Gross will be there first for the Hornets. He'll hand pass back to Hampton. He's got an option outside if he can find it. He does. It's a sensational kick. Well done there, Hayden. His kick over the top, not so good. Couldn't find a teammate in Stanley. Southport have the numbers. 5. Sends it towards half forward. Mark taken there from Hancock, sends it towards Wilkinson. Wilkinson's got an option inside him. Baxter, can he take it? Yes, he can. See if he can kick this one to bring it back to 22 points as we're about to hit time on into this final term.
Well, they've been really outpointed through the middle of the ground, Southport, today. But, you know, when they get the ball in very quickly.
There's an injury here.
And I always keep our eye on these sorts of injuries because as we lead into the finals.
That's Payne, I think.
It is Matty Payne down there. Head in his hands. And I think he collided with the teammate as Josh Baxter took that mark, and the two attempted spoilers came up.
Certainly wouldn't want to lose him leading into the finals, especially in the last 10 minutes of this one.
One of their prime movers. Here's Matthew Payne staying on the ground, so that's a good sign for the Hornets.
Certainly is. So Baxter, he kicked one at the start of the final term. He lines up, he kicks. It's sort of faded, but he's got it through. So it's 22 points. It's doable, but Southport are going to have to be perfect from here. We've played over 20 minutes into this final term. The scoreline reads 9-12, 66 to 6-8, 44. Kanga, can they do it? Is there any chance at all in your opinion?
No.
I tend to agree, unfortunately.
So 22 points. It's a little bit of a bridge too far in the context of the game for mine. We have played nearly 21 minutes, so we are just into time on. Next couple of weeks, Aspley play Redland and also Canberra in what will be a blockbuster round 21 game to finish their season off. And Southport have got the NT Thunder and Redland as Toy breaks away, kicks the ball inside forward 50, and the lead. And Mark was taken that time by Batchelor.
That answers my question. That was well done there from the Hornets in all seriousness. Toy, it's just, they've had this knack today whenever Southport have kicked a goal just to get that quick reply, force it forward. Batchelor lining up here. They've just been a little bit cleaner, I think.
Got Aspley going on the scoreboard, did Batchelor. Oh, he missed an earlier goal. I thought he kicked it. It was an elementary one, but he just misses that one as well. So just two behinds for Brandon Batchelor, the Tasmanian, 21-year-old. He's had his moments. So the margin out to 23 points as Ruse goes along.
Hall uncontested will take the chest mark. He's going to want to move it quickly. He's got an option in the middle of the ground and promptly kicks it straight into Hampton. Dale first there for Southport, tackled straight away. And we'll have a stoppage here in the closest to us of the centre circles. It's 23 points. Spencer. Looks like he'll be going against Baxter, so big height advantage. Doesn't take advantage of it, though. Baxter got the secondary tap, however, it went straight to Hampton. He'll kick it towards half forward. The target on that outer side is Nellis. He'll stop and prop. He's got an option defensively in Joyce, who he does go to, and he'll go short to Swallow. So well worked out there from Aspley.
I've just had the answers today. It's a 3 goals kick, so we're not going to have a lot of time on. Suggest there might be another 5 or so minutes. Swallow goes deep. Nellis can't take it. Over the back is Big Spencer. He'll just have a shot for goal and goes right across the face, out of bounds on the full. Gee, that would have been something to top off a game with 56 hit-outs.
Matches his total last time, I think, that, when they played a month ago.
17 disposals to go with it, so I think that's a few more as Tate brings the ball back into play.
Hall the target. The kick will fall short. No mark taken there from Arnold. It's at the bottom of the pack. It will just be tied up. The umpire says, give it to me.
Isn't footy a great leveller? Southport, of course, played the then top-placed Canberra Demons last week and beat them by 100 points. And then as a top side, they're going to get rolled today by 4 or 5 goals.
Spencer couldn't get clear, but it's certainly very true. The NEAFL this year has been so tight at the top. It's going to be a ripping final series coming in the coming weeks. Amazing to see who can pull it off in the next month or so. Spencer punched it towards the middle of the ground. Coughlin received the hand pass, kicks it out towards Swallow. No mark taken. Well done there from Kenny. I'm sorry it wasn't Swallow. Comes forward now Coughlin. He got the hand pass. He kicked the goal. That tops off a pretty good day for the Hornets. It's 29 points the margin. 10-13, 73 to 6, 8:44. 24 minutes gone into this final term.
Well, they've been good, haven't they? They've been good right across the park, and lots of players have played their part. And just looking from top to bottom, you got the midfielders of Toy, Payne, Ives and Swallow, racking up the numbers, and then Gross and Spencer, of course, in the ruck. And then Gowers has been very lively. Giles has played his part. I've liked the game of Hampton off half-back, and he was involved there. And then you're talking about the young fellow Coughlin, kicked the goal there. Warren hasn't had a massive impact on the game. Jackson Allen's been solid. Beardsley's done a few very good things. And, of course, Jono Freeman, he's kicked the three goals or 4 goals or whatever it is to really put the icing on the cake. Payne thrown off it, but gets up like a champion does. Here's Warren. Just fakes himself as much as anything else. Kicks it inside forward 50. Freeman couldn't pluck it down with the one hand. Beardsley trying to run onto it. Kenny in hot pursuit. And that was a push in the back. And it was disappointing, but it was there. And it was Murdoch that gave it away. And here's Beardsley. And we just talked about what a good contribution he's had. Plenty of life around the contest.
He certainly has. It's been a real team effort this afternoon from the Hornets. It's very hard to pick their best players. I mean, Spencer would certainly be up there, but the coaching staff, John Blair, will be very impressed this afternoon. Their team is humming at the right time of the year.
So, tough kick for Beardsley. Little tricky one. He kicks it low, he kicks it hard, and he kicks it truly. Margin out to 35 points. And Aspley, they keep marching on. And they are putting themselves right in the frame as we get within a couple of weeks of September and where the real action will start to happen.
It certainly will. Like I said, they are humming at the right time of the year here. The Hornets, they'll be very impressed with this performance, of course. They started the year 0-3, very scratchy, but they're coming, and I think every team will fear playing them coming into September. They're going to be a very hard opposition for anybody, really.
Yes. Well, we're going to see what some of these sides are made of when the acid of the finals comes on. Baxter and Spencer, that's a mismatch. Batchelor couldn't get his handball away. Payne couldn't pick it up. Clayton just kicks it, gets it down. Inside forward 50. Hall from the back, crashes the pack, but Stanley stands tall nonetheless. And then goes after Hancock, who's at the bottom of the pack, and we'll have a ball up.
So it's about 35 metres out from Southport's goal. I'd like one before the end of the game here. This margin probably reflects more the true dominance of Aspley since quarter time. Spencer spikes it away. Payne will run onto it, pushed under the footy by Dale. The football gets fed back to Davis. Good kick. Well done. And Baxter, he'll be lining up for his third in this final term and his 100th game at Neefle level.
Well, it's a no great consolation. I mean, it's a consolation of sorts, but ultimately what you want to do is you want to win games of footy. And kicking a few goals is a nice little sort of memento of sorts, but you remember that
you wins.
came to Graham Road this afternoon and didn't quite come off.
Well, that streak of not winning since 2012 will extend into its 7th year next year. Baxter lines up. It's a good kick. That's his third of the final term. It's a 29-point margin here. 11-13, 79 to 7-8, 50. 28 minutes gone into this final term, so we're in the dying stages. And Southport, they have had troops down. Of course, Charles Worth went down within the first 10 minutes, and then they did lose Clark later on in proceedings, but they've been humbled a little this afternoon after that very high, for lack of a better term, to describe that win last week over Canberra.
Well, one player I think that's missing from Southport's lineup that they had early in the year that really challenged Spencer and the midfield dominance was Fraser Thurlow. And, of course, he's overseas, and my mail is he's not returning for 2018. I believe he's got a job overseas, so he won't be back. And that's a big blow for Southport in the grand scheme of things, with Jed Turner particularly out of this side and not favoured to be back this afternoon as Dale gets it going his way. Shears almost hacks it out of mid-air. Well, I'm not sure how he got hold of the ball there. I think he was surprised with Jordan Hayden. Now to Payne. Payne off to Gowers. Off now to Arnold. And Arnold, little chipping ball, finds Jake Spencer. And Spencer, he's just having a bit of a day out. They go down the outer wing. And now it gets on the end of, it does Stackelberg.
So Stackelberg, he's about 70 metres out on that outer side of the ground. Freeman's presenting for it. He wants it. He shoved his opponent early. No free kick, but it's going to be a mark to Southport anyway. Murdoch's taken it. Not much presenting up the field. Not really much movement ahead, so he's going to be content to bang it to a one-on-one. Over the back, Shears couldn't take the mark. Coming in well there for Southport was Davis. He sends it forward. Johnson, who has had a very poor day by his standards this afternoon. He's beaten to the football. He might get it here, though. Good effort. He breaks one tackle. Hand pass inside. That was well done by Mitch Johnson. It's a goal to Southport. That one was kicked from Hancock as it's full time. And it's been a great afternoon for the Hornets. They have got up by 23 points here. 11-13, 79 to 8-8, 56.
Great effort there from Aspley. And again, they've made their statement on the competition. Now, as mentioned before, they were a little bit up and down early in the season. But as we get into the business end, they're starting to close with aplomb. And equal on points they are. And essentially they're equal first on the ladder. It's only percentage now that are keeping them from being a little bit higher up the rung. Currently sitting fourth behind Southport, who they've just vanquished here this afternoon, and the Sydney Swans and Canberra, and equal with Sydney Uni. It sets it up for an absolute belting few weeks of the NEAFL as we come into the conclusion of the season. It
certainly does, and Aspley have actually set themselves up now. They do play Canberra in that final game of the year for them in the regular season. They could finish top two if Sydney fall off a little bit here. So there is a massive opportunity for them to suddenly look for the first week off.
Well, there's a couple of big games coming up, isn't there? And it starts next week with the Sydney Swans and GWS. They play, and that's a pretty pivotal game as GWS try to hold on for a final spot. They got over the Suns and eliminated them from the finals race today. And then also upcoming, we've got Canberra, who are in an absolute dogfight. They play Sydney Uni next week. Of the easiest games getting around, and I suppose this is in terms of ladder position only, that Southport go to Darwin to take on the Thunder, and Aspley have Redlands. So two winnable games, which puts them, you'd suggest, right in the mix still for a top two position. So theoretically, these two sides could end up 1 and 2 come the start of the finals.
They certainly would. I'm just having a look down there. Reece Clark does not look good at all with that ankle injury. It'll be interesting to monitor that over the coming weeks. Southport, yeah, they're still on top of the ladder. They've got two games which, based on ladder position, they really should win, which is, of course, the Thunder, and then they play Redlands at home for their final game. So there's certainly, not everything is lost this afternoon. They'll go back, they'll regroup, and then they'll try to hit September with some form.
Yeah, well, they certainly found some very good form last week, and then they were humbled here. And I know, speaking to a Southport official yesterday only, the smaller ground doesn't suit the style of game that they have, and that's where Aspley, they are experts here at Graham Road, and they've done the job on Southport here. And they'll go up to the big open spaces up in Darwin, up to TIO Stadium next week, and they'll look to get their season back on track and hopefully regain Andrew Boston next week. And he's given us a thumbs up as he walks past us, and the Mexican wrestler might be back in harness. And that'll be a good fillip for the Southport as they go forward.
It certainly will be. They did miss in this afternoon, particularly from that second quarter on the clearance. Dominance and efficiency from Aspley really told the story after quarter time. But, I just can't wait till September. The NEAFL has been so tight this year. It's going to be a cracking final series coming up.
So just quickly, leading possession getters on the ground. Matty Payne had 29, Reece Toy 28, Ives 25 and Swallow 22. They did the damage in the clearances as well. Between them, they had 21 clearances. Jake Spencer, he finished with 19 disposals, 60 hit-outs, 7 clearances, 4 inside 50s, 4 rebound 50s. What a cracking game he had. And they had contributors all over the ground, from Gross with 18 possessions and also the likes of Gowers with 18 as well. we could run through the list. Tyler Roos, he had 33 for Southport. 6 marks and rebound 50s. He had 6 of those. And Manteet, he was manful, 25. And Ryan Davis in defence, he had 24. But really it was Aspley's day, and they've run out winners by 23 points. And Riley, thanks for joining us this afternoon. Second, I suppose, little exposure to NEFL, and you've got Aspley over the line today, so well done to you. You picked Southport to start with, didn't you?
I picked Aspley.
Oh, yeah, okay, sorry, that was me. Trying to make it out like I was a hero all of a sudden. But on behalf of myself, Mark Kennedy and Riley, thanks for joining us, and next week we'll be back with you for another big game on NEFL TV.